Last night, to move to the 29th pick from the 24th with Detroit, they selected Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. He's an Austin native. They picked up a third-round pick on the way. The rest of the draft can be picked up live right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 5 o'clock. In the NBA, the Magic blew out the Cavs 121-83, and the 76ers got one behind them.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. There is indeed a whole bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Post-draft day one. We're glad you're here because you got RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, your co-hostess with the mostesses. And he's the E in a pink shirt. Hey, I didn't get the memo. We got two dudes in pink shirts today. Hey, welcome aboard. The NFL draft going. NBA, we're going to be waving goodbye to LeBron, I believe, in the next couple of days. And other stuff. How you doing this morning, RJ? You get enough sleep?
No, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I did not. It's been I feel like I was just sitting here. It was a long night. Following the NFL draft, the Cowboys made it longer by trading back, and you always have to be on edge. You can never say like, okay, they picked at 27 or 28 or 29 or whatever, I'm good to go, because you could always have that team trade back into the first round. Then everything starts all over. The hourglass gets flipped upside down, so to speak. So I haven't had a cup of coffee yet because my evening one is still flowing through these veins, baby.
Well, here we sit. Cowboys got the tackle, the guy we talked about, the guy they had talked about. They pick up a third-round pick. When we last spoke, I asked what was the ideal situation, and that is indeed what occurred last night. Are we willing to give any flowers at all for what the Cowboys did?
Hell yeah. I mean, look, I've been anxious for the Cowboys to do the bare minimum, man. Like, I mean, I don't know if people understand. I am so desperate to sing a song about this team, that just getting out of bed and putting pants on in the morning, I'm ready to, write you a sonnet. Now, we can sit here and we can all have opinions on Tyler Guyton, and there were a lot of people upset that Dallas, forewent the opportunity to draft the Duke guard, potential in center Graham Barton. But I've told you before, and I know you live your life along a similar creed, you got to make decisions when you're not emotionally compromised. And when you're on the clock and you see a name, it's real easy to say, we got to have this guy. But the Cowboys did the smart thing. They traded back. Mm-hmm. They picked up a top 100 pick. They got the Lions to overpay. And now they have more ammunition tonight to help replenish this roster. They weakened it themselves, to be very clear, but they have a chance to fix it a little bit here throughout rounds 2 and 3.
Guyton, a big old boy, 6'7". I think everything I read and heard, and we got lots of sound we're going to hear from every possible pundit and scout. He just seems a little raw. Didn't get a lot of playing time. I appreciated what Saban had to say about him. That he was one of those just didn't have a lot of playing time, but certainly had all the tools to be one of the greats. He's a big one. I don't think there's a lot of guard there, but certainly swing tackle might be the way. So we await a busy night tonight. We'll see the Texans get into the business as well. Lots of other talk. The Atlanta decision to get another quarterback was interesting. I think RJ and I view very differently on that occurrence. Lots and lots of offense, lots of quarterbacks early. Not a whole bunch of crazy surprises, not a deep fall from anybody that was left sitting in the green room. McCarthy went a little bit later than he thought he would, but not too late. And offense ruled the day. That seemed to be the creed.
I do think that in a lot of ways it was pretty chalk.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of surprises. There wasn't the like, whoa, this team is coming up. Who are they coming up for?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mentioned McCarthy. Yes, Minnesota did have to climb up to get him. But that, was kind of expected, especially after the Michael Penix to Atlanta pick. And so that was a baby surprise that was predictable. Now, you could argue that Denver taking Bo Nix was a bit of a surprise.
That's an interesting, the quarterback. That was an interesting one. I don't know. I don't want to speak ill of a kid.
I don't want to speak ill of a kid, but I will just say if I'm very interested to see how you can tell everyone that the 6th quarterback went off the board was the guy you wanted all along.
Right.
And how taking him in the 12th or with the 12th overall pick was not just some complete and total panic move. Did you see the quote that was floating around from, or it wasn't even a quote, it was an Adam Schefter tweet about this whole situation?
No. Well, I might have.
Well, this was really funny. Adam Schefter tweeted right after the pick. I mean, if you want to talk about water carrying, Sean Payton wanted and intended to draft Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 draft when he held
I did too. For the record, I liked him a lot too.
Seriously, like this in and of itself is really stupid. Like, but whatever. He was ready to turn in the card, but before he could, the Chiefs traded up to the Bills' spot at number 10.
The Bills.
Took Mahomes one spot before Payton got him, leaving the Saints to draft Ohio State cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. Okay, this in and of itself is pretty silly, right? You agree? Already you're like, we're at 10 out of 10 on the silly chart. The last sentence, Payton feels as strongly about Bo Nix as he did Mahomes. Bruh.
Me too.
What are you doing? Why are you're just painting a target on yourself? This is silly. I mean, but Sean Payton really thought, he was spitting fire when he was like, hey, Adam, tweet this, dude. Tweet this. You got my approval.
Well, he feels very strongly. Whatever the hell that means. Was it just a lack of defensive talent this year?
I think it was an influx of offensive talent. And, we talk a lot about the finances of the NFL and how important it is to get ahead of curves. We saw the Philadelphia Eagles before the draft started extend A.J. Brown. So they get that done before the wide receiver market balloons. They get both their receivers done. So it's a constant game, right? It's a constant game of talent evaluation and balancing your books.
It's a 365 thing, I've been told.
Right. Well, it's a leap year though, Rob. So don't take that day off. But so the positions that went, we've talked before about how there are 5 money positions in the NFL. It's the money 5.
Mm-hmm.
You pay quarterbacks, you pay wide receivers, you pay offensive tackles, and then you pay pass rushers and corners. Okay. So last night, the 14 first, offensive players was this mass amount of quarterbacks, of wide receivers, and of offensive tackles. Right. So if you can get these guys on cheap rookie contracts, I mean, you're absolutely going to load up every opportunity that you can. And that's why you look at a team like the Chicago Bears, who are the obvious winner of the draft. Now they have 2 of those money 5 positions taken care of for the foreseeable future in Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. And so you have to strike when you can, and you have to get cheap labor when you can, which is, again, why the Cowboys were really wise to trade down, because you get that extra 3rd round pick.
But no, I mean, this is nothing new. This concept,
no, but
there just didn't seem to be any defenders that were worthy of.
Happened to line up that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, to where there were so many tackles and there were so many wide receivers and there were so many quarterbacks, and beyond the fact that it's wise to do these things, then desperation starts to kick in. And we joked about the Broncos, but that when you contextualize that situation, I mean, like, dude, they've been in the quarterback wilderness for a long time. I mean,
they're still in it.
Right. They won the Super Bowl 9 years ago, but that 2015 season, Peyton was this like shell of himself physically. You know what I mean? And so it's been like legitimately a decade since they've had stable quarterback play. And that's why, I don't mean to make this about the Cowboys, but if you want to get out of your franchise quarterback, you better be prepared, because it is not a guarantee. They have spent multiple top picks on quarterbacks. The Broncos have Paxton Lynch in 2016, Drew Lock. Obviously, now you got Bo Nix. They've brought in agents and instant guessing game in some senses.
Yeah, depending on who's taking the guesses and making the deals. I think we
fair.
could look back at Denver and go, every one of those deals we went, what the hell are you doing? But beyond that, the city itself, I thought, acquitted it. I mean, it was a nice draft broadcast. Did you stick with one in particular? I tried to bounce to all of them. I saw a little bit of Belichick and that raucous crew. I watched a little bit of the NFL Network, ESPN with their crew, which I spent probably more time on that one. But where did you head?
I stuck with NFL Network for the most part, but proud Fubo customer. Well, actually, I had a moment of weakness yesterday with Fubo. That's a whole different conversation. But Fubo allows you to multi-view. So I had ESPN. And I was kind of flipping back and forth when I would see different analysts, and I wanted to hear their takes on certain players and things like that. So it was a night of jumping around all over the place.
Yeah, and then having to leap into Max as Fubo customers had to do to get any basketball, which, by the way, pretty good evening of ball. If you were paying any attention, we're waving goodbye to LeBron in the very near future. Had another lead there in the second, a nice 12-point lead, and it evaporated pretty quickly, outscored 62-40 over the second and third quarters, and there we go. They're down 3-0.
Yeah. We kind of talked the other day about when you feel comfortable in a series, right? And we talked about like whether that's when you're up 2-0 or whatever. But there is nothing more deflating than falling down 2-0 when you were so close to winning game 2. You know what I mean? Because then the slope just gets so much more slippery. And you see that now. I mean, it's real easy to butterfly like this, but had the Lakers won game 2 right now, you're thinking like, hey, no big deal. You know what I mean? We're okay. This is still a series. We're guaranteed, game 5, anything can happen. But now, the fat lady, she's warming up.
It certainly feels that way. Orlando gets their first playoff win, and I didn't see any of that game. I don't know how Cleveland lost by 40, but I get the sense a couple of guys weren't fully focused. They were focusing too much on the post-game stone crab. I don't know, but then the Sixers game, which was a slugfest. Embiid carries this team, goes and gets 50, and we find out prior to the game he's dealing with Bell's palsy. It was a ridiculous game. Just everything you were looking for in a basketball game. It felt like mid-90s Big East tough guy basketball last night. It was a fun game.
It was very impressive. I mean, I know we think highly of Embiid, but for him to kind of gut it out, I think you like to see that, from guys in certain moments, especially again in a similar sort of spot, right? Like they were, Monday night gave us the Lakers, kind of should have beat the Nuggets, and the Sixers, definitely should have beat the Knicks. And so that slope was really slippery. Granted, they were at home. Well, no, the Lakers were at home too. So to come out and hold was really impressive. It was actually quite the night for Philadelphia. There was a lot going around this. The Phillies won. Yep. The Sixers obviously won. Embiid dropped 50. And the Eagles got the top corner on the draft with the 22nd overall pick without having to trade up. And
every other Texas team lost. The Cowboys had a pick. I mean, didn't we have the Astros lost, didn't they? Rangers lost.
Yeah. So the state of Texas on the Texans didn't have a pick.
Yeah, and the Texans didn't even have a pick.
It was the Cowboys saved the state. Really,
we haven't been able to say that in a minute. Now, I'm not going to lie, and I watched Xavier. It's a very fast wide receiver,
dude.
Start to come closer, getting close. Kansas City grabbed him, but the deal there, we're going to talk a lot about the different deals, and there's really 2 that are going to be talked about more than any. The Atlanta decision.
Oh my God.
And then the Buffalo trade decision.
See, like the Buffalo thing, I think the Atlanta thing is the dumbest thing that we saw, to be very clear. And I know you don't, and you're wrong. But the Buffalo decision, if we were Bills fans, right, it would be this would piss me off to no one.
It would,
because this team owns you, Buffalo. This team is your daddy. And you just went out and gave Mahomes the fastest dude in the history of the NFL Combine. The all-time quarterback who, again, is your father and who has a head coach who's one of the more innovative offensive schemers in NFL history. I mean, like,
I don't. That's one of those where you go, just don't answer the call. If they're calling, don't answer.
Yeah, like remember when like people would be like, if Danny Ainge is calling you, don't
answer.
Lost. Like, but like there's peeing into the wind, And I remember there was a Jackass bit where one of them went and tried to pee into the like engine of an airplane. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was a Jackass bit, so it was funny. But this was that. Like,
yes.
Oh, like Buffalo, do you think that Xavier Worthy isn't going to hit you for like 3 75-yard touchdowns in a single game? Because that day is coming. Like I have no way, and it'd be if the like Giants had traded out, people would think like, hey, they're looking out for themselves. This isn't up to the Giants. But the Bills, what are you doing, man? Like, this is so stupid.
Well, they're playing a long game, and it better work out if they're going to let their primary rival go get the fastest guy in the history of the NFL's combine. And now they didn't fix their drop problems. Now we can tell Xavier's truth now that he's been drafted. He does have a bit of stone-handing problem. There have been a few drops in his history. So Kansas City, while they added some speed, did not eliminate a problem that was indeed a problem more than once. Hey, we got a lot to talk about today. Not only did the Cowboys do what appears to be the right thing, it was a little dull, I ain't gonna lie, but there they go. We'll look at the draft from top to bottom. Lots of offense there. What the heck is Atlanta thinking? And is Buffalo asleep at the wheel? So many questions and a lot of time to do it. The Morning Huddle begins in earnest next. Hang around. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select.
Tonight and all day Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code ALAMO, and you can get $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With the 29th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Guyton, tackle, Oklahoma.
Tackle, Oklahoma. That's Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle, the Dallas Cowboys' first-round draft pick. Could have been at 24. They chose to take him at 29. He's RJ Ochoa, blogging the boys. Wrote a lot about the kid. You love what they did last night. Tell us about Mr. Tyler Guyton. He's from Austin, right?
He's from Austin. Monster of a human being, 6'7", just massive. Didn't play football until very late in his life, and obviously now as a first-round draft pick. There's no question a bit of a I think when people throw out the term raw, they feel like they come away thinking like, oh, this dude's like never played football ever. That's not the case with Tyler Guyton, but definitely needs some work, definitely needs some coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be very clear that the Cowboys have no benefit of the doubt in my book. If they have it in one area, it is offensive line evaluation, especially in the first round. They do not miss this. They literally have a batting average of 1,000 as far as first-round offensive linemen are concerned. So I'm willing to give them this very specific benefit of the doubt. Now, would I have preferred maybe taking Graham Barton or Jackson Powers-Johnson? Definitely. And the reason so is more philosophical. I'd rather have the best player at a position, in this case center, than the 6th or 7th best tackle, depending on where Guyton was on whoever's particular board. But again, I'm willing to extend some grace here. And the fact that they were still able to come away with extra draft capital.
Yeah.
In fact, taking Guyton when they did was my second choice at the moment. I wanted them to trade out again.
I thought they might. Yeah.
I mean, it just, this was it wasn't like an A+, smash, perfect, whatever, but it was a smashing success. They had to come away with extra draft capital, significant extra draft capital. They did. They got the Lions to overpay. And they came away with a future left tackle, somebody who they can groom and develop. And, do I wish Tyron Smith were still here? Yeah, but hey, this is the situation, and now all they can do is work their way out of it. And on Thursday night, they took a very significant step in that direction.
This is Mel Kiper on the brand new Dallas Cowboy.
6'8", 322. Exactly. Really long arms and a tremendous athletic ability. Had a 34.5 vertical. What he is still raw. He's still a guy talking about needing coaching. He needs it. He's a pass blocker. He shows pretty good feet. He's a very good athlete. He can mirror, take away the edge. He's alert when it comes to handling twists, but he's got to get better in terms of the present time, desired consistency. He's going to come once he gets proper hand placement, leverage. He needs technique work, Lou. And he's still a work in progress. Offensive line coach for the Cowboys will be critical in his development.
Mel Kiper, post Dallas Cowboys, number 29 pick in your book. What number you think you're going to get?
I don't think 60's taken. So He should be able
Yeah,
to
if he's a
get it, so
tackle,
he
you
should
can't
be
wear
fine.
60 at tackle. You got to wear 70. Something in the 70.
Well, 70 is taken by his
Not a 70, but something in the 70s. Can you give him Tyron's number immediately? Can we go ahead and give that up? Or
God, if they do that, that'd be so frustrating.
But, I mean, it's going to be in the ring in about 30 years. But
this was a really good day. This was really needed. This, you know what I'm saying? Like this was the first when you do when you go on a diet or you go on like a juice cleanse. This is the first day where you kind of start to feel the effects of it. You know, because like the first day you're like, this sucks. I hate this. This was a dumb idea. But this is the first day where you're kind of like, hey, my pants a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Like I'm not as tired walking down and up these steps. You know, that's where we're at this morning.
So as we head into tonight, they picked up a third rounder. That's 2 now. Does that change the draft structure to you at all? I said yesterday I'm a little worried about it today, but I said I'd eat my hat, find something silly, whatever that might be. The Cowboys ain't going to draft a running back in the second round. I just feel like that would be a ridiculous move for a style of back they could probably find 2 rounds later. But with a new third rounder, does that alter your draft strategy any?
I was tweeting back and forth with Jane Slater on this subject last night, and you know, I'm so pleased with the just logic that was the spirit of how this was all handled. That
can't fall off the floor, I guess.
I'm exactly like, again, the bar is really low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you did a smart thing. So I'm really here to like, yeah, exactly. It's like when my son puts his toys away. Yeah.
That was so good. Do you think you could do it again?
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. So I kind of feel like, you know what? Let's get some ice cream. Like, you really want your running back today? Okay, you can have him.
No. See, that's my fear that they did so well yesterday. They're going to do something dumb today.
But so we've used the word luxury a lot. You now put yourself in a position to do something of luxury. That's what that extra draft pick affords you. The reason we were so against it was because the resource was so precious, because you didn't have that, you know, that fat on the meat, so to speak. How long? Now you have that fat.
Okay,
on the meat.
I'm worried now. Now I'm worried. What's the pick number?
That they picked up, it was 73.
Okay, so when's our first pick? The 56. Cowboys first 56, and we're starting. So this is going to be picking about the same time. I'm worried that there's going to be the very typical run on a position, and running back might be one. And I don't want them to be right in the middle of some running back run where they panic and go, well, I got to get one, and it's going to be the guy with the knee injury.
If it's at 56, then, you know, it's not perfect, and I'm a little bummed. Don't get me wrong. And you're right. If they, you know, I don't know if you saw this, but last night at the very end of their presser, and, you know, talking about the Guyton pick, Jerry specifically was asked about Jonathan Brooks.
Right.
And he said in his 30 years doing this, that Brooks is the best interview he's ever had. And it's a little bit of like, dude, calm down. It's just a stuffed elephant, dog. You know what I mean? Like, just, relax. Now, I will give them some basic props if this is all a smokescreen, right? If they're just trying to throw us off the scent, and if they just sit and chill and they take, you know, somebody else at 56 and they let Brooks go here, there, wherever, they take Trey Benson out of Florida State or something like that, then great. You know what I'm saying? I will give them some props for that. And this could be that. I mean, you have to take everything you hear right now with a grain of salt. And so I will offer that they may just be trying to, you know, get people to really buy that's what they want to do. But tonight they again, I can't express enough how they took a really positive step last night. And tonight it'd be really difficult to ruin it tonight, honestly. But they have a chance to really, really make it great. And so
I want them to take Brooks. I do. I'm not anti him. I'm anti running back in the second round is what I'm anti. So save your longhornness for somebody else. I'm not mad. In fact, I wanted him well, I'm not going to say I wanted him. I was just hoping to see the draft of a Xavier in the first round just to have the conversation. And I wouldn't have been that mad at the end of the day. But I'm not anti-Longhorn, so stop with your texts. I know who you are. Stop it.
Question from Johnny Boy.
I see it.
Hey, Johnny Boy, great to see you. Johnny Boy is a longtime listener over at BTB. So as we look at things, a name they had been connected to a lot was Zach Frazier.
Yes.
That's what Johnny Boy's asking about, the West Virginia center.
Mhm.
And we talk a lot about the breadcrumbs that Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News likes to drop. He did a whole profile this week on Zach Frazier. Yeah, Michael Gelkin's the hardest working man in Dallas.
I was going to go there. We're going to continue
So,
talking Cowboys. Let's lay some breadcrumbs for the future, because what would you do with this extra pick in the time that they've got tonight? A little bit more gravy going on this evening. We'll talk about what the Cowboys are going to do. But coming up, while the Cowboys did the right thing, who did the weird stuff? Let's look around the rest of the NFL. All the quarterbacks went early, real early, and some weird trades. We'll talk about it. Let's come around with the NFL. And night one of the draft delivered just about everything as chalky as we expected it, with just enough twists to make this morning interesting. What in the heck are the Falcons doing? And does Buffalo have any idea who they hate? We're talking about that next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, what a night it was in the NFL, round one of the draft, and all kinds of things happening. We'll react to it.
All the chaos from round one last night, plus that Cowboys pick. He should join us on The Blitz. We'll let you know exactly what time when we get started at 2 o'clock.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have, because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun. Fun isn't hard. Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasic.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with a better IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The NFL Draft lives right here. Coverage begins tonight at 5, exclusively on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Howdy, y'all. Let's gather around and to talk about stuff. It's the Morning Huddle here on Friday. Hey, Fiesta Friday, baby. Most of this city's still just kind of cracking their eyes open as we got parades today. We got a parade this morning and tomorrow night as Fiesta concludes this weekend. The Niosa this evening. Cordiation was a busy night last night. A lot of us are running on fumes for a lot of different reasons. Some of us were late watching draft and basketball. Others were picking confetti out of their ears. And I won't discuss as to which side of that fence I landed on, but then we got some more to do. Nothing makes me feel better than the warm embrace of a NFL commissioner. I love watching the Goodell hugs. Those guys, those are some caring embraces, man.
It was a precarious situation. What with, I don't know if you'd seen that he had back surgery recently, and so he
got tossed around once for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's probably a little.
Hey, he brings it. He's the one coming in. You know how it works. If you come with your hand out, you're don't you hate people like that just come with their hand already out? Like, oh, he's coming with his arms out. Like, brother, you're not getting to the podium, but by me, baby. So those are some loving, wonderful embraces. And he did it. I mean, that's a lot of hugging.
Well, good for Goodell.
I hope no one gets sick. I'm just saying. Oh, is that still a thing? Weirdest thing, what was the biggest wow moment for you last night? It doesn't have to be a move, but whether the suit, like the pink suit, the trade.
Falcons.
That was
without question.
So you were astounded by their brilliance.
Rob, I got to be honest with you. You're the only person.
I am not the only person.
There's nobody who is saying, I would challenge you to find the person besides yourself that is saying like, oh, this is dope. Like this was great.
I am telling you, when a team finally does what we all say you should be doing.
Nobody says you should do this.
What? No one says that you should always be on the lookout for your next quarterback. No one says that.
That's fine, but not with the 8th overall pick. I mean, this was.
You just qualified your answer. All I ask was, no one says you should never be looking for your next. And they were. They made a move. Now, I will argue with you. We could argue about the quality of the player. And that's in the eye of the beholder. And we know only 2 of the dudes that we saw go last night are going to be any kind of moderate success or better. By the numbers, we know there's only going to be 2, and it doesn't mean it was going to be the first 3. You know what I mean? We know. So knowing what we know in the past, that it is indeed a crapshoot, and we also know that you should always be looking. It's still.
Rob.
No.
They just spent. No, I mean, if you want to look at
that's half the equation. We're going to get there.
Well,
I'm just talking to you about half.
Vagaries like,
no, I'm not.
It's a crapshoot. Yes, you are. That's not a provable thing. Let's live in the world of the facts. Let's live in the world of the facts.
Okay, what are the facts about first-round quarterbacks?
No, let's look at the facts of where the Falcons are operating. The Falcons just spent.
That's the second half of this question. I'm talking about trading to go get a quarterback at 8. I'm not talking about what's on your roster, or
no,
just.
We're talking about the. What do you like? You can't just you have to evaluate the roster and the decision-making process over the course of the last 6 weeks. So the Falcons spent an exorbitant amount of money on Kirk Cousins, which in a vacuum made a lot of sense, and I defended them for that.
And it
partly made sense. It partly made sense because they held the 8th overall pick because they could, apply that to the defensive side of the ball with a massive influx of talent. But so they spent an exorbitant amount of money. They also likely did something that's going to lead to a penalty by way of tampering with Kirk Cousins. So not only are they invested in Kirk financially to a serious degree, but they're going to forfeit some sort of draft pick as a result of tampering with him early on. Okay, now you've spent your most premium asset, the most, the cheapest labor you could possibly outfit on the defensive side of the ball on a redundant thing relative to the current goal. Because you're not helping Kirk and therefore you're not helping the entire team. And beyond all of that, the conversation we had about this whole discussion when there were some, Cowboys, fans that were out of their mind saying we should draft Penix now. So if you look at Kirk Cousins' contract at overthecap.com. So again, he just got paid by the Atlanta Falcons. It's effectively a 2-year deal for Atlanta. His cap number this year is $25 million. It's $40 million next year, but his dead cap is $65 million. So they can't get out of this contract at least until 2026. That's 2 years. Penix is on your team for. They cannot.
We watched Denver do it.
A cheap.
They can do it.
They've paid a lot of money to do it. Denver's taking on one of the largest dead cap hits in NFL history.
Well, you can't just say they can't because they can. You know why they can? Because they've already got their quarterback in the building.
Him. I'm not arguing that at all, but they would have to take on an exorbitant amount of dead money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have now, if you want to live in this world where Penix is your guy or whatever, you've now compromised 2 of the 5 years of cheap labor that
that is the one argument I have, that they did compromise a couple of years.
This is the most inefficient way to do this.
It is not the most inefficient way. The most inefficient way is the way the Cowboys do it, is wait till you absolutely have to go get one. And they didn't do that. And history shows that quarterbacks that sit and watch and wait are far more, not just a little more, far more successful. So when they went and copied what has been successful for eons, we can talk about the guy, but then again, there weren't a lot of guys that jumped out. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We'll have the conversation about whether they chose the right guy in 2 years. I think they chose the perfect guy. They chose, to me, the guy that will be most ready to lead them in 2 years of all of them, because they have a short runway on this, right? You're right. They have a short runway on this. But they are set up at quarterback.
So he's
for the next
really old
5
when he
years.
Finally does play.
At worst case scenario, they are set up at quarterback for half a decade. And for a lot of that, for not a lot of money. Now, you could add the Kirk Cousins money onto the Penix
money. What are you talking about?
You can add it in there. But no, again, one of the things you always say is get in early. So they did. They got in early with Cousins and with Penix. So by the time Penix is their starting, listen to me. By the time Penix is a starting quarterback, he will be vastly underpaid. Underpaid.
No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
And he'll be vastly underpaid for 1 year. Because then they're going to have to do a new deal for him.
Ask the Rams.
They're in no world are they going to reap.
They are no worse today in a league that faces only offense, where the whole first round was offense, because that's what rules the day. What we're going to get mad at Atlanta is you didn't go get a defender. Well, nobody else did either. Now, they didn't augment, I'll agree, but no team is set up for the future better than they are right now.
That is 100% false.
Are you kidding? They have a starting quarterback in their brains at the minimum for 5 years. How many other teams can say that?
You just said that drafting a quarterback is a crapshoot, and now you're
It
willing
is.
to
It is
say
a
that they are
crapshoot, and
completely
we'll
and totally
discuss
set up for the future.
whether that's right or
both
wrong.
those things can't be
But they
true.
went and did the thing that we all say, you know what you should be doing? They went and did it, and they got blown up for it.
Top 10 pick.
Yes, and he could be a top 10 level.
There are two teams who took quarterbacks behind them that are going to start them this year.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
This,
those guys are going to burn out.
This was a galactically
it is a prudent move in a microwave society. This is a brisket.
Do you know where the Packers took Jordan Love? Because that's the example you're
I'm going to use the Packers. I could use Steve Young way back in the day. I can name quarterback after quarterback after quarterback.
What do you mean you could use Steve Young?
You
can't. But Steve Young wasn't the 49ers.
I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that have invested vast amount of capital in a starting quarterback and then went and got another one inexplicably. And when everybody went, what are you, crazy? And it works
that's
more
fine
often than not.
If you spend something minimal to acquire that second quarterback, the way the 49ers did on Steve Young, the way even when the Packers did it again with Jordan Love, because they did it with Aaron Rodgers. That's the most famous example, obviously, with Brett Favre. Even when they did it 4 years ago with Jordan Love, that was the 26th overall pick.
Right.
And even then,
and they got lambasted like crazy just like that. Yeah. And it worked.
And at that moment in time, they had not just brought in a brand new $100 million. What do you mean
it worked?
Again, this is the most.
It worked.
Again, they have spent so much resources, so much money, so much capital on a redundant sort of thing. It's possible that Michael Penix develops and whatever, but he's an older rookie when he's going to start. Again, you now have not only taken him, but you jumped the shark on taking him relative to having it happen before J.J. McCarthy. You have already pissed off Kirk Cousins before he ever played it down for you.
We don't know if he's pissed off. Let's give this some time. I guarantee you Kirk Cousins go, hey, I wish we had a defender. I got a new guy to mentor. Let's go to work. Kirk Cousins doesn't give a crap. He didn't lose $1 of pay. Not one penny, not one playing time. What he did lose is some help, and I will agree with you there.
I'm not saying Kirk has a right to be mad. Kirk's going to get his money.
He's not going to be mad.
Well, of course, I think he's absolutely going to be mad. I'm thinking, dude, you just brought me to help your team, and now if I'm Kirk, if I'm Drake London, if I'm Kyle Pitts, if I'm any Falcons fan, I'm pissed off because you just threw away the most premium asset that we had for this season. The whole reason that they went out and paid Kirk was because they were a quarterback away, and people believed that they could contend if they got him. Okay, great. Now you just handicapped your primary ability to help him out.
Right? They're over with the draft.
It was a top 10 pick, Rob. This is again an extremely valuable resource that they just threw away because they felt like it.
They just, in their eyes,
you are on
something that no, I am not. I am not on an island.
Find me the person who agrees besides the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, find me the person who
we could scroll out. I am not on an island. In fact, 656-3776. Is there anybody who believes that I am not on an island? I don't think they did a ridiculously crazy move. I think they went in and did something that we all tell everybody, you know what you should be doing, so we're not in this damn situation. Just go
Nobody says that you should do this.
I hear repeatedly, as much as I hear the playoffs don't start until a road team wins, you draft a quarterback when you want him, not when you need him.
Not with the 8th overall pick.
So
6 weeks after you gave a dude $100 million.
You get him when you want him.
Context matters.
I like him. I want him.
Matters.
I'm getting him.
If you liked him that much and you knew that 6 weeks ago, why give Kirk $100
and by the way,
then?
Kirk has. Well, there's hey, he had it. Kirk does have a bad.
Why not go?
By the way, Kirk doesn't
Minshew?
have a fully functioning Achilles tendon as we speak. By the way,
then why give him $100 million in general?
Well, that's the other question. Well, they paid him, and then they went and got insurance on that. Because of the $100 million.
Really expensive insurance. Again, if you want to do the Penix thing, fine. But go out and get Gardner Minshew. Go out and get that kind of quarterback so that you're not paying a lot of money. So, but
Gardner's here today, gone tomorrow. I gave you 5 years. You've done the most
extreme thing in opposite directions, and that's why it's inefficient.
Edwin's having a heart attack. We do want to hear from you. 656-3776. Sound off like you got a pair. Jump on that brigade bar as well. We did have playoffs involved last night. We might be waving goodbye to LeBron. We'll be right back. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
Tonight and all day Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Just saw something on Facebook. You know, you read something really quick and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I fell for that. A new drug has been developed for lesbians with depression. It's called tricoxagen. Gigi got it.
Where's the white women at?
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate, because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Calling all children ages 8 to 16. HEB and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing a youth football clinic to you on May 4th from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at East Central High School in San Antonio. You can do skills and drills just like the pros. Register for your chance to participate at dallascowboys.com/HEB. Camp is limited to 150 athletes per session, so sign up today. Purchase not required to register. Parents must be 18 years of age or older and a Texas resident. The promotion ends April 25th. For official rules and important details, visit dallascowboys.com/HEB.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, we're going to react to the fun of last night, the NFL Draft Round 1. A lot of chaos, as always. We've got all the reaction. Plus, that Dallas Cowboys pick, he's scheduled to join us here on the Blitz. We'll let you know exactly what time as soon as we come on the air at 2 o'clock. Rob, RJ, you got to love that Cowboys pick.
I'm glad they made one. That next day wouldn't have worked out very well. Joe Reinagel and Jason, they were out at the Root Pub yesterday in prep for all this. That's our J.O. Ochoa, Blogging the Boys managing editor. It's been a busy night for him as the Cowboys got a tackle. We'll talk about what they got and who they might be getting today. Around the rest of the league as well. The NBA, while the draft was happening in Detroit, certainly no basketball going on there. The rest of the league did go off. News in the night, Philly gets their first win in the series at home. 50 burger from Embiid, but the announcement, he's dealing with a case of Bell's palsy. And then, and you could see it. It was an obvious, he's lost. I think it's the left side of his face is sagging. I don't know the reasoning behind Bell's palsy. I've had a cohort or two in my long radio career that has had Bell's palsy. It comes on without notice and can come and go. I really don't know much about it. Doesn't affect your game, though. I can tell you that.
I mean, hopefully Embiid's all right. Showed up, was a hero for the Sixers, certainly was a hero for Philadelphia. I think we all anticipated that the Sixers would come out and maybe get some benefit, as a result of what happened on Monday night. But, this is – I say this without having seen Game 3, obviously, of the Mavs-Clippers series. Mm-hmm. We thought that one had the potential to be the best of the opening round.
Right.
This one still has this one's lurking.
Oh, it's better. I mean? It's already better.
It does have more theater and more drama, and so I'm kind of inclined to agree with you. And last night it had, this incredible act before intermission, right? The lights just came on, the curtains closed, and you're like, wow, that was quite the number. Get a drink. You know what I mean? It was just really, really big. And so I'm excited to see how Game 4.
There might be a fine or two heading toward Embiid after he took out Big Mitchell last night with the Knicks. That didn't appear entirely clean. It looked like playoff basketball from an era that I certainly like to highlight as the best. But there might be a fine coming his direction. Hey, on the other side, let's look at the NBA. That's 11 straight for the Lakers. It's hard to imagine it's the most of this era. The Lakers' tenure might be winding down. Who's over first? Is it Golden State or the Lakers? And where might young LeBron go? I'm talking about Bronny. There was a clue dropped on Twitter last night. Let's talk about the basketball world around the bend and more draft talk. Cowboys got to add in another pick, and the Texans get busy again tonight. That's all coming in the next hour. It's Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Last night in the first round of the NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys traded back from 24 to 29 with the Detroit Lions, drafting Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. The Texans did not have a pick. Will begin tonight. In the NBA, the Magic blew out the Cavs 121-83. The 76ers made it 2-1 with a 125-114 win, and the Lakers went down to the Denver Nuggets.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Busy night, busy morning. A Fiesta Friday, we're huddling up. That is RJ. I am Rob. It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're rising and shining and prepping for the Battle of Flowers parade, look forward to seeing you downtown today. Should be a fun afternoon. Stay dry. Doesn't look like it's going to be. Looks like there's a chance of rain. Haven't actually seen the sky, but it felt a little damp this morning. Good morning, RJ. Natalie attired in pink in celebration.
Good morning to you, Robert.
Happy
Friday.
Of a good night last night. Busy one.
Yeah, I had a lot going on with the draft and whatnot, and so it's nice to have some of it behind us and a lot more to go.
Nice to wake up in a good mood, though.
I want to shout out my friend Rob Thompson. Yesterday, I told Rob in our pre-show meeting that I was going to smoke some chicken for the draft. And he said, "Are you going to brine it?" And I said, I really don't brine it unless it's like a bigger deal, like a turkey or like a Cornish hen. He was like, "No, you got to brine it." And he specifically told me to use some apple cider vinegar, some soy sauce, and some brown sugar.
Yeah.
And I did it. And you know what, Rob? That crap slapped.
Yeah.
So good job. Kudos. I greatly enjoyed it.
And it's easy. And if you're doing chicken breasts, always brine it. Just plan a couple hours ahead. It's not that big a deal. Pull it out and smoke it. It just is so much better. I'm glad you tried
Great
it.
job.
That's one of those basic things. I know we were focused on the draft last night, and last night was I think the NBA scheduled appropriately. You know, they kind of knew. I don't think anybody witnessed it. It's kind of like a tree falling in the forest. I guess there was a sound. Cleveland didn't show up. The Magic just dispatched Cleveland. 40-point win. I don't know what happened there. So I guess the playoffs began in that series. I don't know. But the game of the night was the Knick 76er game. We knew it was going to be a knife fight, knew it was going to be a battle. And it was. Was there anything to be learned from that? If you were a Knick fan, and there's a lot of Knick fans listening. I get enough text from you guys. Are you worried this morning that the bear was awoken and there is no answer for Embiid? That maybe now the Sixers understand that?
I think if you're a Knicks fan, you probably feel like you're a bit cursed, right? I mean, there's certain fan bases like that, and I think you had a really good week because of what happened on Monday night, right? Like, I don't know that Knicks fans had experienced any level of euphoria, from Tuesday through Thursday or anything like what they did from Tuesday through Thursday, unless they watched the show on Max with Zendaya. And so that being said, I do think that if you're a Knicks, I think, because I've been there as a Cowboys fan. I think if you're a Knicks fan waking up today, you're probably like, was it fake? Like, like you're doubting it. You're like, is it over? Like, was that the best? You know what I mean? Like, are they coming now? I think you absolutely have to be worried at this moment, because there is nothing like looking back and saying like, oh crap, that was the moment. Like that was the moment that we gave them a rallying cry. And it kind of feels like the Knicks did that. I'm not ready to go. I'd still take them to win the series, but I definitely understand the panic.
Well, I don't know. Let's just call it what it was. Embiid was dirty last night. He wasn't protecting himself. I guess I don't know how you describe what he did to hogtied. That'd be the word that would be wrapped up. There's a fine coming. He probably should have been ejected last night. Probably should have. I don't think I don't know how you could have as a ref at home in that environment, but he probably should have been.
Especially on the heels of what happened on Monday night, right? Like this was, I don't know what I believe happens in, coach meetings and player meetings, in situations like, what the Sixers found themselves in after this week. But I'm definitely not willing to believe that something like this doesn't happen where, the Sixers are like, this is the game to foul heavy. like, you know what I mean?
They can't call them all.
This is the game to go wild. Like if you can be a little bit more physical in this game because we're going to have a longer leash. I wonder if that is truly a strategy, because the logic behind that makes sense. You know what I mean? Based on what happened on Monday. And so, I mean, I don't know how anyone disagrees with this. I mean, this was.
Well, I don't know if you treat it like a breakaway one, which is kind of what it was. He was behind him. He's on the ground. But if you extrapolate to running from behind a guy, not making a basketball play, but just stopping him, that's a double. That's 2 in the ball. And that's, I don't know, maybe ejected because he pulled him. I mean, that was just flat dirty. That being said, I'll tell you, if it's me, if I'm the Knicks, I wake up this morning going, what's the next thing we got to do? Because they're coming. That Embiid said it. I think he felt it like, man, we're better than this. We should have won at least one game prior to this. We should be up 2-1 right now at the bare minimum. And they showed it last night. Now, it took everything, took 50. But if I'm a Knick fan, judging by this team's history and judging by the weaknesses of what this team is, this could be that could be the turning point, or it could be the flash in the pan. And, again, this series hasn't started.
I mean, it hasn't started, but it has. You know what I mean? Who would you take to win it now?
Right now, I still like the Knicks just because I think there's some momentum there, and they'll pick something back up. But I'll tell you, if something happens with Embiid, if they fine him, that's one thing. But I don't think a suspension's imminent. Now, I wouldn't go that far. But
but now you risk taking the we were slighted energy and giving it back.
And you're exactly right.
Saying? And now the Knicks feel slighted. And this game, is this the most important game in Sixers history coming up?
Well, I mean that long. I mean, there's for men of my age, no. But the recent from the beginning of the process, and we can count that process back 15 years. I mean, this process began way long ago with a guy named Nerlens Noel, I believe. or something to that effect. I mean, it's been a long time and 4 or 5 coaches. So if we want to do that, yeah, this is the most important one in the new century. True. I'll give it to you.
Or even if you want to just isolate it a little bit more and say in the Embiid era, this is
Yes.
and I recognize it's only the first round, but having the medal to hang tough and to win this series, and especially to play tough, although there's a line that you crossed, but would really go a long way. And again, winning this series would not do anything or everything for the Sixers, to be very clear, but I do think it would prove a lot. Like if they got swept in round 2, I do think they would look back and be like, God, but we hung tough against it. Like you'd be able to hang your hat on something just a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that's not enough, but it would be something.
It's interesting because I think most people, when they look at this series, they see 2-7 and they inverse the two teams. They assume that it's Philly 2, just by it's Embiid, MVP. And when we last saw this team fully healthy back in about early February, they were a legit number 2. And with Embiid, they probably are a 2 seed. But without him, they became the 7. And we watched this and we feel like Philly should be favored, and they shouldn't be. The Knicks are a better team, or at least have been, without Embiid, and it appears they got Embiid back. I am still a betting man on the Knicks, but it would be a little bit fewer dollars if I was just beginning the whole process. What do we think of the Lakers? Can they manufacture a valiant last win in the Staples or Crypto or whatever the heck the name of that stadium is now? No, right? I mean, the Denver didn't even play well last night. It wasn't even like they had a good game. And 62-40 in the second and third quarters. Nothing.
I just looked up the odds because I was going to look them up from a Knicks standpoint. The Nuggets are minus 20,000 to win the series. I mean, they're up 3-0, so I don't think that's shocking. But
4 starters over 20. 4 starters with 20 points or better. They sniped. They laid up. They didn't have to work that hard. And it's over.
Do you think, is that more of a testament to how much of a machine the Nuggets are?
That's exactly what it is. They're a machine.
So it's not anything to do with the Lakers are just not good.
I don't know. I think as the Nuggets are going through this, I think they got a sense about midway through the second quarter when they got down, they're down by about 12, 13 points. And they just kind of grounded out. And I got the sense as they were walking into halftime after Aaron. Well, anyway, we'll talk about the hottest close of anybody I've ever seen in Dante last night with the Sixers. But as they were walking off, I think the Nuggets went, this is easy. This isn't hard. They knew they're about to beat the Lakers for the 11th straight time. And I know matchups, styles make fights. And the Nuggets style is their Shaolin style's far better than the drunken Indian style, whatever they have style that the Lakers are playing. They're styled better. They're whooping them everywhere they play them. Now, I don't know if that's just because the style or the Lakers are just truly toast. I don't think they're toast. They certainly look like toast.
Have you ever seen, there's a really popular Snapchat
my Shaolin
that gets memed a lot from the 2016 Cowboys division round loss to the Packers. And it's a picture. It's like a guy in a Packers jersey, and he's taking a selfie in the crowd, he's clearly like way high up at AT&T Stadium, and he's wearing a Packers jersey, and everyone's jumping. All these Cowboys fans are jumping up and down behind him, and he's there smiling, and he takes this picture, and the caption reads, "They don't realize that Roger still has time," and it's just and so I've always wondered what that must feel like. You know what I mean? To know that your team absolutely
we're just better
owns. No matter what happens, your team will find a way to beat the other. And that's what has got to just be so cool about being a Nuggets fan right now, is no matter what the Lakers throw you, no matter what they try, no matter what they say, no matter how much Lakers of it all they get, you own them. You completely, and you don't even own them because you're trying that hard. You're just that good, and they're that not good. It's got to be pretty empowering.
Tonight, all the roadies that started the road trends, we get them again. I don't know what to make of the Milwaukee, Indiana. I thought it was
let's see here. Who do you think's favored tonight?
I would.
First game in Indiana.
I think the Pacers. Do we have word on Giannis? Is he out?
The Pacers are 6-point favorites.
Yeah,
tonight. Oh my! It's not even tonight. It's at 4:40. What are we doing here? What I mean, I know the NFL draft is on, but like, what are you doing playing it?
They're doing exactly that. The NFL draft starts at 5 Central Time.
I'm just saying, what hard worker in the Indiana area is able to get off in time on a Friday to make a 5:40, I guess, tip? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like,
are you kidding? That city shut down. Don't you remember San Antonio during these days?
I'm just saying.
I mean,
that stinks.
That's the other part of watching the draft last night is just being part of a city that is just enthralled with the sport current. That everybody has a common topic and a common thing to look forward to, a common excitement that is just so riveting to watch. And
I never thought of it this way, but I was reading about the PGA Tour's problems a few weeks back, and somebody was making the point of how the tour wants every tournament to feel like a Formula One race. But what they said was every F1 race feels like a festival.
Yes.
In the place that it's at. And I had never really thought about it that way. And to your point, like that's what the draft looked like. And that's what an NBA playoff series looks like. Like especially when you have those either games 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, like it feels like a little mini festival in your town.
And just the memories of that and watching these towns go through the excitement of a team on the rise. You could feel it in the Detroit crowd. They know they're getting better. They know it. And then they got happy, and the ripple effect of all that. I did find it interesting. We'll get back to the hoops in a second. As the draft went down, the placement of the ESPN booth, as the draft wore down and fans left, I remember they cut to Adam Schefter, and he looked like he was in front of what had been, I don't know, a festival of sorts. There were like beer cups all on the ground and people staggering off behind him. It looked like they had placed him like, Adam, back over there in the throng, and they'd all left. So he's just out in an open field with a party that had long since finished going on behind him. It was a strange placement for what looked like for most of the night. 200,000 people down there. My gosh, that was a big crowd.
So I don't know. Maybe this just speaks to where I'm at in life. And I think when you get married, you start to look at life a little bit differently. You know, when you become a father, assuming when you become a grandparent, like there's all these like seminal moments where you just like evaluate things differently. The only thing I could think of, Rob, when I want to ask you, when you saw the throngs, when you just saw the like helicopter shot of the like mass crowd, what was the the main primary thought in your mind?
It felt like a concert of some sort. I was just trying to figure what concert I'd been with that kind of crowd and where I normally am.
My thought is way less cool. My thought was, man, it would be super stressful to have to use the bathroom.
Well, that's the same thing. I'm always like, I'm normally on the edge of that crowd, knowing exactly where the bathrooms are.
That would
me and Joe Reinagel. Reinagel runs cover for anybody who ever has to use a bathroom a little bit more than most. Just hang around with Joe Reinagel. You go, I ain't that bad. But that's a whole other story. Tonight's games, before we run out of time in this fair segment over the weekend, like you said, 3 games tonight, starting really early. Now, for most of San Antonio, it's a holiday. I guess in Indianapolis, it's going to be the same. The Pacers are favored. Chris Middleton's got an ankle issue going in. Dollar Dame, I said it before. I'll say it again. You are here for this. This is why you are here. Go do that.
And if you can't do this, then why are you here?
Right.
You know what I mean? If you can't, and like I'm a believer, to be very clear here, but I'm with you there. Like, if you can't, and you did it game 1, I'd still think that he didn't get enough props, even from haters like you. But if you can't go on the, like, we're not even asking you to go to like Miami, you know what I mean? But if you can't go to little tiny Indiana for a 4:30 tip, you know what I mean? And take one when nobody's watching. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do? So, yeah, this is a big time game for the Bucks. Why don't we predict all 3 games today? Bucks, Pacers.
I like the Pacers, especially with no Middleton. I like the Pacers. I think that they're going to run past it. Not that the series is over, but I do like the Pacers here.
I don't believe in sunk cost fallacy, but I am kind of stuck here. So I'm gonna go Bucks, but it's really just trying to manifest it at this point. Okay, so that's the first game. It is nice to have 3 really good games. Then we get the aforementioned Clippers Mavs game Game 3.
Are you able? No, you can't. Even on your Fubos, to spread out into the basketball, you can get the basketball. Oh, you will tonight, but you couldn't last night because it was TNT.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly. These games are on ESPN.
So my night got better as well. Okay.
Yeah. Although
Clippers, Mavs. One of them be NBA TV, but that'll be.
Well, what is the? No, they're all on ESPN. So what is the draft on? The draft.
Wherever His Highness Pat McAfee is, wherever he goes, that's where the draft is.
That's a great answer. Okay, but pick the game: Clippers, Mavericks, please.
The little internal ESPN joke there. This one I do not know. I'm gonna go with the Clippers. Just because I'm not sure. The road savvy. That's all I'll say. I just feel like the Clippers are going to get one and make up for the loss.
I'm going to take the Mavs. Okay. And so we're
what's the line? What do we have? 4.5? Well,
the biggest, as I pull it back up, the biggest underdog today I saw were the Bucks. So the Mavericks are 4.5 point home favorites.
Yeah, I'd take the Clips and the numbers.
And then the Suns are 4-point favorites at home.
Nope, that ain't gonna happen.
I would see like that one. I'm willing to adjust on. I'm not going down with that ship. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking the T-Wolves as well. So
I think that's crazy money. I think that no, I like Minnesota outright. What's the money line?
The money line. Goodness gracious, you're asking a million questions.
Well, I'm listening. Our listeners are thinking about it.
The money line for Suns T-Wolves?
Yeah.
You want the T-Wolves? They're plus 150. So
that's not as good as I thought
it'd be. Meanwhile, the Pacers. You want the Pacers money line? Actually, you got to pay a little bit. It's minus 238.
See, there you go. That's what I thought we'd be running around there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the best bet tonight, if you're interested in that, actually, the best bet might be the T-Wolves. I mean, you're plus 150. I mean, I don't know how you can believe in the Suns. So
I don't know how anyone believes in the Suns. Now, I will say this: if you're a Prize Picks type, go the over with Durant.
Oh, there'll be some garbage time scoring.
Yeah,
like
he's going to get some buckets tonight, to the detriment of the team, but he's going to get his buckets tonight. Let's come back. Let's talk some NFL draft. We saw what went down last night, mostly chalk, lots of offense, lots of quarterbacks. The Cowboys did what was unexpectedly expected. They were boring, and they were right. By R.J. Ochoa's grade, you couldn't have done much better. He's going to talk about it next. He is the Blogging the Boys managing editor, so he knows of what he speaks. You in a good mood this morning?
I'm in
of all the guys, we're about to go to break. Of all the teams. Now the Bears, I guess, are obvious because they got. I mean, it's first time in history two quarterback and a wide receiver drafted in the top 10 or whatever.
Well,
I've read something like that, but they had the best draft last night. But that's easy. Apart from the Bears, who was happiest this morning?
Apart from the Bears, I think the Chiefs are pretty happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Cardinals are really happy. I mean, but you can make an argument they should have maybe considered. I think the Patriots are pretty happy. You could finally start to really move on from Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I think the Eagles are probably pretty happy. I hate to say it, but I think and I think the Commanders are really happy. I think the Commanders, really nailed it with Jaden Daniels, and so
let's look at all of those reasons teams are happy and the biggest mistakes, apart from what crazy ass trades that went on last night. Let's look around the league. After we're done with that, we'll look very closely at the Cowboys. They added a third rounder. They added some more opportunity. Where's that opportunity going to land? We're looking at the NFL first, the Cowboys second, and then the Texans. They're going to be busy as well. Lots of league talk. Let's talk the Shield. Protect it as we go to break. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, it's the weekend. I know you're going over to Tri-County today. You should be. A great meal always starts with great meat coming from Tri-County, and this weekend's going to be no different. Specials for all their fine customers, as always. They rotate. Go in and find out. And if you want to know what they are, Make sure you're on their email list. They'll tell you what's going on all the time. Don't leave without getting on there. I want to tell you about why so many of my friends, when I take them over to Tri-County, the reason they go back isn't so much about the quality of meat. That's expected. It's the knowledge behind the counter. We all talk about learning something new. RJ just talked about, hey, I learned something about brining. Everything I know, I learned from the meat cutters there. So if you're going to get a new cut of meat, you want to try something unique or different, these guys cut it. They know what they're talking about. It's the knowledge, hundreds of years of knowledge behind that counter. Tri-County's got 2 locations, Huebner Road and Ralph Fair. Specials are always in play. The 5 for $25, I'll say it again, is the best deal in all of San Antonio. And first responders, before you even walk in the door, know you're getting 10% off. Ralph Fair and Huebner, Tri-County Meat Market. A great meal starts with great meat. Head over to Tri-County today. Trust me on this. You're going to get something good. You're going to put it on the grill, and I know you're going to thank me later.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys.
Tonight and all day Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
I don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position select.
I thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hi, this is Quentin. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, crispy, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu, especially when you add in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Always the perfect combination. And then personally, you know me, I'm getting a 4 count. I want as much chicken as possible. I'm that guy. Whenever I get them, whether it be lunch or for dinner, in my household, it's always a winner.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. A bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner can help your engine get more MPGs. Right now, when you buy 1 bottle, you can get 1 bottle free. A great deal to help you go a great deal farther. Find Chevron Techron and everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any one of our 6,300 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
San Antonio's sports star. You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
Huddle up! It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. All of our guests join us via Buyers Barricades guest line. Maybe somebody will pop in. That guest line will be inhabited today. At some point, it is tradition here at the San Antonio Sports Star that we get to speak with the Cowboys' first-round draft pick, and that today should be no different. I wish I could give you a time, but things are in flux. What happened is the Cowboys drafted this Tyler Guyton guy. And by the way, did you notice every time they showed him last night, he had horns down constantly? Did you notice that? I guess it was just a freak of editing, but he evidently doesn't like that school there in Austin. But they're going to fly him into Dallas today. He will arrive up at the Pretty Star and at some point grab a phone and a headset and talk with Jason and Joe. I can't wait to hear Guyton. He looked rather excited. He's in Austin. What high school do you go to? Do we know? Is it one of the two or one of the?
Answer it.
Well, we'll find it in a second. But he is Texas born and OU trained, and he is arriving. The draft went chalk for the first 3 picks.
Manor.
Oh, he's from Manor. Oh, all right.
So
6'7", big old boy. The quarterbacks went early and often. No surprise. I don't know what you say. I mean, Caleb, he had a day. The Bears had the best day on a draft in forever. Everybody's happy. Got themselves a wide receiver too. The Commanders get themselves an athlete at quarterback. I think people are kind of upset that he ended up there. I don't think they're upset with the Commanders for taking him. It just feels like he has been sentenced to go and go through the rebuild that the Commanders are going through.
It's the Jaden Daniels thing has been strange with all the Top Golf stuff, whatever.
That was a weird story, right?
Yeah, it sours the moment just a teeny tiny bit, but ultimately the Commanders just made their first pick in the post Dan Snyder era, and they've done a lot of good things.
Mm-hmm.
I would never really be happy for a division rival. Okay, so
but the world is better when the Commanders are good. It is. The NFL world is better when they're good.
Well, beyond that, I don't. If you're going to be bad, I want you to be bad because you're incompetent at football. You know what I mean? Like I just want to laugh at that. You know, I don't want you to be bad because you have a horrible human being.
Yeah,
who owns
exactly.
the franchise and
there's perfectly good reasons to hate you, other than that one. You know.
Yeah, like I want you to be bad, like in the funny way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the way that you're bad is just depressing. Like nobody should have to go through that. So, you know, I'm happy that they're on the path to that at least. It was I would be irate, Rob. Like I would be fuming if I was a Buffalo Bills fan. I would be so
yeah. Okay, let's
mad.
talk about what Buffalo did. For those of you unaware, the Kansas City Chiefs traded up with the Buffalo Bills to take a player that would have filled in nice for Stephon Diggs, who's now a Houston Texan, though there's some backstory behind that, and I'll let RJ tell it. But they traded with their with the team that owns them. I can't even find, like, the Bears trading with Green Bay and giving them Aaron Rodgers, another wide receiver. I can't find an equivalent even close to one team helping their arch rival out so much.
I don't think you can call it, and I don't mean to like mince words, but a rivalry, because this is a
their most
thing.
hated team. I mean, there can't be another team that Buffalo hates more than Kansas City.
That's what I'm saying. That makes it worse because, yeah, you've won a few cute little regular season games at Arrowhead. That's fine. But when the going gets tough and when things really matter, they beat you. They beat you in the playoffs in Buffalo. And so to not only trade with them, but to trade with them and directly allow them to strengthen the greatest player in the league. I mean, it's just, it's a really, really weird thing to do. And not just strengthen him like, oh, here they come for one of the receivers, but it's like, here they come for a very specific skill.
Now, I want to defend him for just a second, because I'm always been an avowed believer is I plan for what I want to do and what I need to do. And what you're trying to do, I will figure out and try to adapt my plan to your detriment once I've done my plan. But I'm not going to plan everything in reaction or in creation of something you may or may not do. So if I'm Buffalo and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to go get Brandon Ayuk, which appears to be what they're trying to do, and I need capital. I don't care who calls me. Somebody calls and offers me capital, I'm going to go, okay, my plan was to get Ayuk. Okay, now that will help me get it. I'll weigh that against helping my arch rival get the fastest guy in the history of the combine. I know what he's done with other fast dudes, and I'm giving him another one. And I balance that out. I'm the guy that says I don't do things in reaction to them. I couldn't have made the deal. I wouldn't. I've been, you know what, man? Just on general principle, despite how much it could help me, I can't do this deal.
Even if they wind up, trading for Brandon,
they better,
or T. Higgins or something.
Yeah, something like that.
You're still further behind the Chiefs now because they have Xavier Worthy. And if you want to claim, oh man, we needed the capital, trade with anybody else.
True.
Literally
anybody. I'll take less.
Well, and in case anybody doesn't know, the Chiefs and Bills have traded in the first round very recently.
Yeah.
And it was the pick that the Chiefs used to draft Patrick Mahomes. So I know that's a really, honestly, in a vacuum, it's kind of silly to just say we're never trading with them ever again because of this. But you kind of almost have to
right
actually
now. I
that.
expect to see you late in January. My plan is to see you again.
If the Chiefs pull off a trade with I don't know, pick a team with the Vikings, you know what I mean, or the Seahawks, and go get Xavier Worthy, that sucks. But what can you do? You know what I mean? That's not you had nothing to do with that. But to directly allow them is quite the choice.
Seriously,
Buffalo Bills.
Marco Mendez on the Brigade Bar. The Bills might draft Mitchell from Texas in the second, and he'll be a big. I get you. It's not about how much better the Bills might eventually get. It's the fact that they allowed a team that's already better than them to get better.
Marco also has a comment about Kirk Cousins to Atlanta and how silly that is. May I read you a Twitter thread?
Oh, feel free.
So this comes to us. I'm pulling this up right now from JJ Zachariason, who does a great job in all things football evaluation. But
real
really?
Quick, what's his name?
Tweet thread. JJ Zachariason.
Okay, it's a good name, by the way.
Round QB on
Zachariason.
Twitter. This is his tweet. An NFL team really thought drafting a quarterback 8th overall after giving a quarterback $100 million guaranteed contract the month prior was the same thing as drafting a quarterback 26th overall with a quarterback who had a questionable future on the roster. He adds, I'm totally down for letting a player sit and learn. That's not what this is. The Falcons aren't even going to be able to reap the rookie contract benefits until year 4 of Penix's career. And by that point in time, we have no idea what kind of weapons will be there. Finally, he adds, when the pick happened, I just assumed something was going on with Cousins' recovery. Maybe that comes out down the line. Maybe there's something we don't know. If there's something we don't know, good God. So, yeah, maybe there is some panic on Cousins or whatever. That would, I guess, seemingly justify this.
No,
but if there's not, if this is truly, we think this is the best thing, then the way you think is wrong.
I think that they don't need to justify it on Cousins' health. It's a concern, obviously, and he's older, but he's going to play. He's going to play. They did to their detriment. I will agree part of the problem. But first of all, let me say that I agree with what they did. I think that they did something that so many of us talk about, but we never do. That we always talk about, why do teams wait till they absolutely have to get something? And it never works out. Desperate money never makes any money. Desperate money loses and goes away. This is not this was a guy, okay, we're buying a T-bill. It's not going to give me the same kind of return as some kind of high-end stock. It's not. And it might fall flat. Who knows? Well, I'll get 3%. And in a couple years, they're going to have a year of a prove it, maybe 2 prove it years, because they're going to have to pick up that 5th, and it's going to cost them some money.
Away context.
No, I'm going to add the context later. I'm looking toward the future. The current context is I'm on the hook for about $350 million worth of quarterback over the next 10 years. This better freaking work out. It better freaking work, or my franchise is done for, because there's going to be an overlap that nobody will have seen since the Cowboys, that they're going to deal with an overlap here pretty soon if they don't deal with the Dak issue. But they looking at the Cowboys and go, well, I don't want to be there. I certainly don't want to be there in desperate times. I've got a quarterback that I can at least percolate for a couple of years and decide, I think he's going to work out all right. And there is the matter of the Achilles. I think that it is on the bottom end of the wise decision, but I'm still going to give them a passing grade on this, a B. I don't think it's as crazy as everybody's telling me, because they've got a lot of weapons. We got on them last year for doubling up on running back. I mean, my God, how many running backs do you need? How many wide receivers do you need? And they had a bunch of them.
Since 2021. This is 4 drafts now. The Falcons have spent first round.
Yeah, they double up on guys they already have.
Hold up. Since 2021, they have spent first round picks on a tight end,
which they already had one,
who they then proceeded to not use.
Right.
On a running back in Bijan Robinson,
which they already had one.
The most devalued position in the NFL, and now on a backup quarterback. This is the team that you're like, I get it.
I'm saying this decision to go and say, you know what, I am going to protect myself in the future. I'm going to give them credit for that. I'm going to give them credit for making a move that they knew they were going to get hammered.
They don't get credit for protecting themselves from a situation.
I'll tell you this: in 3 years, when they got their quarterback who's been ready to go, he steps out on the field and has, I don't know what the hell he's got, but they've got a quarterback. I think they're going to be better off for it. They're going to suffer in the short term. Kirk Cousins got weaker today. They don't have a defense. They got the rest of this draft to find something. But right now, yeah. But I will grade it later. But I'm not going to get mad at them for doing what I wish my team had done. Might be ham-handed.
Nobody wishes their team had done this.
Yes.
Nobody does.
Green Bay is awfully happy they did it twice.
No,
and you can say it's a 20 pick and it's an 8 pick. No, what these teams did to go, you know what?
That is a factor.
It is a factor, but it's not the only factor. Whether it's 8th or 21st, this is a team that banks something. And I appreciate that.
Handicapped from a financial standpoint.
The salary cap's going to go up. They'll find a way. I'm being real here. They did something forward thinking, and they're getting hammered.
Look, this might work in one way. It might. Again, Penix might be a great player, but the results will not justify the process. The process that they are going through here is insane.
The results always justify the process. What are you talking about? If I win and win a Super Bowl, that's the result I'm chasing. I'll be the Rams. I'll pay the piper when it's all done. But right now, I'm all in. I kind of like it. And they got 5 years of quarterback. 5 years, Rob, at minimum, maybe 6.
I don't want to talk about the Falcons anymore because it makes me sad that you think that.
I think that they made a move that that a lot of other teams and general manager goes, I wish I had enough sack to be able to do this. I wish I had. And a lot of the moves that you said were done by groups that weren't there, and they're righting a wrong. Yeah, they overpaid, and they did. They overpaid Kirk. They did, and I think they're panicking. But I do think if you're panicking, you went and banked the most important position on any team in any sport.
Jerry deserves props today. I'll give the Cowboys some props.
And we will. Let's talk about the Cowboys because they do deserve some props. They did exactly what RJ Ochoa yesterday at the end of the show. I said, when I talk to you tomorrow, what is the ideal scenario? And RJ said, trade down. Do the smart move, get the best offensive lineman, but trade down and get more picks. You need so much. And what did they do? We'll talk about what they did, what we expect the Texans to do, and did what the Cowboys did affect what they're going to do today. No better guy to ask that question than the guy sitting in pink. That's RJ. And you would know that if you were watching this live. Go to our YouTube feed at your earliest convenience, and you'll see what I speak of. Hold on tight. We got a whole lot to do. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, what a night it was in the NFL. Round 1 of the draft, and all kinds of things happening. We'll react to it.
All the chaos from round 1 last night, plus that Cowboys pick. He should join us on the Blitz. We'll let you know exactly what time when we get started at 2 o'clock.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Emory, North Carolina. Good morning. You're there.
Yeah, good morning. I got a 2018 Cadillac XT5.
And is it a Lux or a premium Lux or regular?
It's just a regular XT5. It's black, very, very clean. Never had kids in it or anything.
I thought you were describing Gigi for a minute, but then the kids thing.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. There at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at SanAntonioLASIK.com.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text CASH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 42424. That's CASH to 42424. Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With the 29th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Guyton, tackle, Oklahoma.
That is the brand new Dallas Cowboy, Tyler Guyton. You heard the commissioner post hug or pre-hug as it was announced, although he couldn't hug Tyler. He was at home. That's RJ Ochoa. He's wearing pink. He is happy today. The Cowboys traded back a couple spots, picked up a 3rd rounder, gave up a 7th rounder next year to add to the weaponry. Let's talk specifically with an eye toward today. They added a 3rd rounder. They have a pick today at 56. Where do you see the Cowboys going most likely? Does it vary from what you believe would be the ideal?
I think it would be a shock if the Cowboys did not go to sleep tonight after the Suns win Game 3. But I think it would be a shock if the Cowboys don't have a new running back on their roster. I would love to see the Cowboys. I mean, quite frankly, I'd be fine with them trading down at 56. The way they ruined this, okay? Like if you're wondering, like,
how do you screw this up?
Yeah, what's inside that horse that you guys are giving us? You know what I'm saying? Is if they trade up now, if they're too antsy and they take these 2 3rd-round picks that they have that we're now patting them on the back for, and they get too antsy and they want to move up, just chill. All right, just be cool. You're doing the right and proper thing here. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and just let the board fall to you. I would be stunned again if they don't have a running back today. If they don't have a linebacker, you could go Junior Colson, you could go Edger and Cooper. As far as running back is concerned, oh yeah, I mean, look, if
he's good
if the Cowboys ended today with, I suppose Jonathan Brooks would be fine, but if they went Edger and Cooper at 56, if they went Trey Benson at 73, and I don't know, take whatever other tackle or center option interior lineman you want there at 87, like boom, gangbusters, party. Like order some pizzas, some ice cream. We're staying up late tonight. We're playing Mario Kart. It's going to be amazing. Like that is my nirvana for today.
Well, so far so good. This was Steven talking about what they were thinking when they traded down.
The biggest thing was not to go back too far. I mean, we kind of knew we had a group of players there that we were still going to walk away and be very fired up, regardless of which player fell to us. I mean, we love Tyler, but, there were others, as long as we walked away with one of those. So the biggest thing, and we did have a lot of different options and opportunities, but the fact that we only had to move back, to the 29th pick, was a big influence, not to mention the fact that you pick up the 3rd-round pick with doing that, made it even more enticing to pull the trigger. And so, I think that was probably the most important thing. We didn't want to move out of the 1st round, and that was very important to us. And we had a couple options there that you didn't move out of the 1st round, and because we felt like that's where you still get first round type player in terms of what we had left on our board.
A lot there. They didn't want to move out of the first round. Is that for that extra year? Is that the primary?
That's a 5th-year option. That's exactly what that is. Now, I mean, plus you want a quality player. Obviously, you want to come away up.
Did he have a first round grade even at 29? I mean, was he a first round grade in most people's books?
I would be stunned if he really did. And that's not a huge slight, but it's a player you're comfortable taking there. You do get that 5th-year option. I think there are two important elements to this pick that help make it, that help fortify it, because it is a great pick in and of itself. He was, Peter Schrager mocked into Dallas at 24 yesterday. Daniel Jeremiah in the final mocked into Dallas at 24. So, but the two, sort of subsidiary elements of this are you get the 3rd round pick from Detroit. And not only do you get it, but you take it away from a contending team in the NFC, one of the teams that you're going to be working against here in 2024. So that's a big check. And 2, Tyler Smith gets to stay at guard. That is one of the biggest pluses from this, is you get to keep Tyler Smith where he thrives. And so now you are set up well along the left side of your offensive line for the future. It's going to take some time, but if anyone, and I'm not going to give the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt on a lot of things, but if the Cowboys do deserve a benefit of the doubt anywhere throughout their football operations, it is the development of first-round offensive linemen. They own this space, so kudos to them.
We will hear from the developer, Mike McCarthy, the developee. I don't know who that would be. Tyler Guyton will be interviewed today on the Blitz at some point. I wish I could give you a time. It's just a tradition. We get him. We will have him for you today. Hey, coming back, we'll continue talking Cowboys and hear from the pertinents. I know you're asking as we go to break, what does Booger McFarland think about Tyler Guyton? Well, guess what? You'll tell you next, along with Steven and Mike and everybody else that was involved. After what I love is the celebration after they make the pick. Like all 30 people are just overwhelmed. We did it. Well, we're going to break. Let's all clap. We did it. We'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Crushed that all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
One of the preeminent researchers in the field of gratitude, Robert Emmons, writes that grateful people experience higher levels of positive emotions, such as joy and optimism, as well as being protected from the destructive impulses of envy, resentment, greed, and bitterness. So what would your life be like if you experienced and practiced more gratitude? And what impression would your life of gratitude have on others? And here is a bit of encouraging news. You can actually grow in gratitude. And there are 2 simple words that help us do that. Recognize and acknowledge. Recognize and acknowledge. Gratitude begins with recognition that something good has come into your life. Acknowledgement is recognizing the giver attached to the good gift. In other words, it's about seeing good and saying thank you. It can start with the giver of all good things, God the Father. This is Mark Absher with the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious error. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyer4us.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you are a family member and needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyer4us.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys traded back to the number 29 pick from 24 with the Detroit Lions, and they got their man, offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. They also added a third-round pick for tonight. The draft begins at 5 o'clock for the second and third rounds. The Texans will get their first pick of the draft this evening as well. In the NBA, the Magic blew out the Cavs 121-83. The 76ers got their first win against the Knicks 125-114.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Here we are. Gather round. Let's talk about it. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, check him out real close. That's RJ Ochoa, busily blogging the boys, editing, and talking with us here on the Morning Huddle. I'm Rob Thompson, your co-hoster with the Moster. And on the other side of the double pane, you can't tell, but he's also wearing pink. Easy E. Edwin Hafner taking us for the next couple of hours. The first round of the draft is in the books. Chalky for the most part. Some interesting moves. We're looking at that. The Cowboys got their tackle, now onward and upward toward the rest of the draft. By the way, you can catch it all live right here. We'll start you a little earlier today. The boys get out early at 5 o'clock as the draft begins. And even as the boys exit, there will be NBA games on. We have our first game today at like 4:30 on the east side. So going to be a busy day around San Antonio, despite the fact it is fiesta in full effect. Downtown will be shut down. Remember, it is parade day as people head down. And are you a parade guy, RJ?
You know I am. And parades are always a great thing in general.
The older I get, the more I like parades. I don't know what that is, why, but I do. I appreciate a good parade.
The last parade I went to was a Christmas parade, and it was really fun. But I'm kind of a maybe like 2 parades a year person.
You can't. There has to be a thing. But the San Antonio, the Battle of Flowers, we all grow up doing it. It's a Fiesta Friday. The courthouses, everything's closed down, school's out. It's we're doing it the right way. Growing up, my father was on the city council here in San Antonio for a long time. And, city councilmen and all the political types are always in the parades. I don't know why we want to see them, but they're there. And we would ride every year. And, it's kind of a big deal. You'd go and you had to plan for it. And, because it was the family thing, we'd have to go find, my dad would always go find an old, like a 65 Fleetwood Cadillac, the biggest car. So we could all fit, and he would go and walk and shake hands and all that. But one of the reason to make people happy to see you in the parade, because nobody's happy to see some elected dude from the South Side. I mean, nobody knows who he is, but you have the car, but they give everybody these buckets of candy that we would get to throw, something to make people excited to see you. Give them, earn it. It wasn't like a New Orleans Mardi Gras. You didn't have to earn the candy or beads. But after a couple of years of doing, we hated it. The first couple of times it's kind of cool to get to ride in a parade, but after 2 or 3, you realize this is going to be 3 hours of just boredom. I mean, you're just waving. we would start throwing my brother and I, before they told us to stop and we weren't allowed to go to the parade, we would throw the candy in front of the car, just in front of this slow moving car, to see how close the kids would get to the wheels to get the free candy. And we would have these kids like diving on the road to get the candy in front of the car wheels. One year we were in a car that caught on fire. That's never a good thing when your vehicle of choice catches on fire in the parade.
That is an interesting way to do that from you and your brother, a lawyer for us, by the way.
That's the lawyer for us. So if you have a parade-related incident, nobody would know more about the laws of a parade injury. I kid. My brother and I, that's what we did for a long time, man. We look forward to the buckets of this cheap candy, too, as those bad mints that you get at a restaurant. But they give you
I will offer personal horrors with a parade.
You were in I bet you marched in a parade. You were on a drum line.
That's what I was about to get to. So I was on the drum line in high school, and as I say all the time, when you make the drum line, you have to sign something that says, at any point in your life, when you can refer to the fact that you were on the drum line,
you have to speak of it. It's like being vegan.
You have to do it.
A vegan drum guy is a hard guy to know.
Exactly. So I was on the drum line in high school, and I played bass drum and third base, no big deal. And I hated parades, like absolutely hated.
That's like an army march. You got a 30-pound rock on your chest. You got to go.
Well, that's not what bothered me. Like,
oh, really?
What sucks is, if you don't know, so you're and it would be like the Christmas parade or the Charo Days parade down in Brownsville. And we would have certain songs that the whole band would play. Like certainly around Christmas time, it'd be like certain Christmas songs, whatever. And so you're playing like, and that stuff's really
Did y'all
easy
play Drummer Boy?
The whole band is a part of it. But as soon as the song ends, because the parade is like an hour-long thing,
and then you guys have to keep time, right? Like.
That's exactly it. Like so when the moment the songs break, the drum line's still playing cadences to keep the whole band moving. So there's no stopping. I mean, and so like by the end of the parade, we'd walk off and like your hands would just be like trembling from playing the entire time. I felt like Chandler in the episode of Friends where he played Pac-Man and set the record. And he was like,
you had come back with a gnarled.
It was terrible. Like you couldn't move for like 3 days after.
Far be it from me to bring up anything negative, but one of the true separators from OG San Antonians, if you want to know an OG, certainly of an age, just say the name Ira Atterbury. Just say that name. And if you get a response, any kind of like eyes up or, oh, wow, that's an OG San Antonian.
OG. Okay.
Ira Atterbury.
You just taught us a secret password.
Well, this is not news we like talking about, but San Antonio got on the list of this horrible mass shootings a long time before a lot of other folks. Back in 1979, I was down on the River Parade. I mean, down on Broadway when we had a mass shooting. And the guy's name was Ira Atterbury. I think it was like 45 years ago. Part of the lore of the San Antonio Fiesta. We were just down the road and we heard what we thought were firecrackers and we couldn't figure out why the parade wasn't starting. We kept waiting. And then you started hearing the sirens and all that, and we'd had a shooting. I think we lost 2 and several were injured. And what was a rather heroic thing by our San Antonio police taking that lunatic down. Way back when. That's an OG thing as Fiesta begins. Knock on wood. That's one of those things oh, wow. We'll see everybody down. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe in Fiesta as we're winding this thing down. It's going to be a good weekend. Be safe down there tonight or today and tomorrow. We'll see you down at the parade tomorrow. And Nyosa tonight, baby. I'm going to have some escargots.
Like you better have your phone charger with you.
You know what?
Wherever you're going, like you got to have that phone charger.
And think about that.
Draft, you're checking scores, you're texting people. Like there's a lot going on.
And the kids today, they have no idea. We would leave the house, and it wasn't that long ago. You'd have no idea what went on in the outside world. The rest of the world, it was be damned. Now you can literally be in line at Nyosa, getting your escargot or your whatever your favorite thing is, your Anacuchos, and watching the game on your device. It is a bold new world. You could watch the draft, as the Cowboys have an extra pick tonight. We're going to get to see them do 3 things tonight. Any gaffes? The Cowboys have been kind of known in the past for like leaving their draft lists out in front of a camera or speaking too loudly on an open mic. Anything stupid last night?
The only stupid thing, and I don't really feel like calling it stupid, is Jerry Jones saying in the post-draft presser after the first round that Jonathan Brooks is the best interview he's ever had in 30 years of doing this. And it's only actually stupid if they really, truly want him. You know what I'm saying? Like if they really actually, if that's their like heart's desire, then this is really dumb. But if they're just playing the game, you know what I mean? They're just having fun. They're throwing smoke screens out. Then it's fine. Then then by all means stir the pot a little bit here. Work that to your advantage. Act incompetent so that everyone thinks that you are. So obviously that remains to be seen.
A couple things. First and foremost, the Cowboys traded down from 24 to 29. I was watching the Nick Sixer game, so I didn't know the trade had happened. So, I'm trying to time things, go back and forth. I don't have the fancy Fubo where I can get everything on there. So I'm having to, exit one app, go to the other app, wait, come back. So I come back and I see a dude in a pink suit walking across the stage. I thought, they drafted a cornerback? What? And then I look real closely at the hat. And a deal has been done. So they make the trade and they move back. Steven was asked about trading back and said that there were several players that they were looking at.
We had, when we made a conscientious look-see into it when we were fielding the trades, and it happened with Detroit that we were, going to have 4 players go, and certainly at that point, we had 5 players were going to get picked, and we had 4 up there we really liked, and so we felt good about making the trade. Now it's tense, waiting. And there's no question you're taking some risks there. You're believing in your board and you're having patience. And certainly that paid off for us. And, we were wanting to accomplish, certainly with some of the good offensive linemen that we felt were worthy, of a first round pick. It was great to get that done and pick up a pick, which we were really wanting to do in this particular draft because, where it has depth and where we think we can get good players.
That's Steven post draft. He sounds like a guy just in my mind that needed a win. Like he's like, ooh, we made this deal. There were 5 guys we liked, and there were 4 spots ahead. Obviously, they're going to say they got the absolute guy they wanted. But I can imagine it being a little sweaty because there's no margin for error. They painted themselves into this corner. And I think he needed last night to kind of an exhale kind of a day.
So where I'll give them some extra kudos is I don't think that they're billing this as like this was our top target all along. Like that's not the way they're going about this. I mean, in fact, they said when we traded back, we knew we were going down 5 spots, and there were 4 guys we liked, and Tyler Guyton was one of them. And so I respect that. Like I respect the transparency of saying that. And they almost they played a stupid game and they did not win a stupid prize because 3 of the other 4 went with the next 3 picks. Shout out to Xavier Worthy for being the 4th, but the obviously the one that they weren't interested in. But I mean, they are remarkably honest about stuff like this. So I'll give them props for not trying to overly sell this and be like, this was our dream scenario. The way that the Falcons are doing right now with Michael Penix as an example.
So they made the trade back, and you have said it over and over, and the numbers don't lie. The Cowboys have a good eye for line flesh, like offensive lineman flesh. They can pick up talent on the hoof. They can pick the winning horse. They know what they're doing. And Will McClay is the architect behind all this. He talked about their proven track record of offensive line success.
Yeah, and I think it's, when you get an opportunity to pick someone with those tools, I mean, I think we've got somewhat of a proven history and kind of what we're looking for, and then to have that opportunity to do it, and not, like Mike said, we hadn't even put pads on, but we think that there's an opportunity because of his skill set, spending that time with him, understanding what he's all about, that he can achieve, and we're putting him in a room with people that will teach him how to be a pro and improve as well.
Will McClay, the brain trust there.
I mean, again, they have earned the benefit of the doubt here. this thing specifically, like this is the one thing, right? Like like you're very good at this, right? Like we need somebody to come in and just foul. You're our guy. You know what I mean? Like this, and this is a very important thing. They have a very proven track record of identifying a lead offensive lineman, and the headline of it all becomes in the first round. And I know that people have kind of faded on Terrence Steele. They were in on Terrence Steele. As an undrafted free agent in 2020, they said, we believe in this guy. And it was rough. All right. But then he played really well. And again, I know that that's kind of,
there's been some injuries and some stuff. But yeah, back then.
But if you give them a quality prospect to work with, not just way more often than not, literally all of the time, they will turn that person into a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber player.
Now, is he a right or a left tackle?
So he played right tackle at Oklahoma recently in 13 of the 14 games there. It should be noted that Dylan Gabriel, the Sooners quarterback,
left-handed.
was left-handed though. So I mean that's part of what's going on here. But he's more comfortable as a right tackle in the eyes of most evaluators. But he's a left tackle for the Dallas.
He will be a left tackle. Mike McCarthy, another thing, we're giving flowers today. I mean, I think we've been waiting for an opportunity to give a few flowers, and you've highlighted it too. That McCarthy is one of those NFL coaches who just focuses and obsesses about his offensive line. That the line, he talks about the nuances and the movement and the ballet that is an offensive line more than most coaches. And he's an offensive lineman. He talked about Tyler Guyton and his transition from right to left tackle.
Definitely. I think with Tyler playing the right side, I think we all understand, because I know, particularly you, Clarence, the in-depth study that you do in your draft process, that, they have a left-handed quarterback in Oklahoma. So he is the backside tackle. So that'll definitely be an easy transition for him as far as the responsibility of playing the backside of the quarterback. And I just, it's just like anything, it's footwork, and there's things going to be new anyways, but God, what a great pick for us. And just, just to feel his enthusiasm and passion on the phone, and, the excitement of, being a Cowboys fan, and just to fit, and Austin, Texas native and all that. So this is a great add to our offensive line room.
Boomer Sooner, as he was apt to show, the horns were down in a lot of those pictures. So that'll make for an interesting conversation, especially if the Cowboys head down to Austin to find themselves a running back. It'll be a challenge for him to move from one to the other, but he's in good hands. RJ, I couldn't wait to talk to you this morning, because I knew that as much as you've been hard on this team for a long time, that we were all waiting for a good day.
Yeah, this feels like when Kevin said in The Office, it's just nice to win one. You know what I mean? It feels like, wow. And again, I think that they deserve a lot of credit. The Cowboys do, for being patient, for trading back, for not falling in love with a certain prospect like Graham Barton that everybody wanted them to take when they were on the clock initially at 24. And I think that we need to reinforce what we just said, because what we just said is that they are masters of evaluating offensive line talent, and they have gone down this path. We talked so much about through all the process, how we were going to learn, how we were finally going to go down one side of the fork in the road here. And they have told us that they want to keep Tyler Smith at guard. That is an important part of this whole information gathering process. So their elite offensive line evaluation method has told us Tyler Smith plays guard. We now know that. And so I trust that. And I think that should be trusted. So the left side of this offensive line is fortified for, I think we throw out the term decade a little bit too loosely sometimes, like, oh, this guy's going to be around for a decade. But like for the next 5 to 7 years, the left side of the offensive line is well taken care of. You're still going to have to figure things out in the future, obviously, as Zach Martin retires and moves on in life. And it would be great to come away with another interior lineman and a center option, maybe even today, preferably even today. But this was, I did a show yesterday with a good buddy of mine, Joey Ikes, and we talked about how it was impossible for the Cowboys to like get everybody back yesterday. And he put it really well. He said, look, just get on base. Like that. Right. That's all I need from you today is just
get on base.
This was a solid drive in between center and right field. And this is a stand-up double. Okay, great.
I wouldn't even give it a double. Let's not go crazy. This was a nice step to the first base. Now we got to move them around.
Double because it's a double because they kept Tyler Smith at the position of preference at left guard, and because they picked up the 3rd round pick in the process, because they picked up another day 2 pick. So I think when you add that, it is a double. But it's not more than that. We don't have to make this bigger than it is, but this is a stand-up double. You got a runner on base. You still got 3 outs to work with. There's no need to swing for the fence right now. Let's play this thing smart.
Coming back, it's so hard to say goodbye. Are we seeing the very end of LeBron in yellow? It was a rough night, 11 straight. We'll look at the NBA. Bell's palsy will be something we talk about. And is Paolo unleashed? Lots of NBA talk coming your direction. There are other things happening. We'll get back after that, hearing from Jerry. Jerry talked about the trade and things he hasn't thought about because the draft's so important. We'll worry about the other things for a later time. As wide receiver rates keep going up, AJ got paid. We're talking NFL and Cowboys specifics in 15, NBA next. Hold on. A lot headed into the weekend. We're talking about it here. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, Twin Peaks is waiting on you this week. The Fiesta's occupied a lot of time, and I'm probably getting a little tired of those sweaty crowds. Go to a man cave, sit back, and enjoy the rest of the weekend the way you should, with an icy cold local brew, not all expensive in a little tiny cup. I'm talking about a big old frosty mug that's less than 29 degrees. It'll be proven to you by the thermometer above the bar. Have a mixologist brew you up or bring you up a perfectly poured local brew or a bourbon, the likes of which only should be occupied on a top shelf or at a Twin Peaks. That's today. It's a bourbon and brews kind of day. Head over and celebrate a draft weekend, an NBA playoff weekend, a Premier League fun time at Twin Peaks. You know you're going to see them on all the TVs they got there because that's why you go. There are 4 locations coming from west to east, 151 and 410, Days of All and I-10. Loopland right there to Park North and over on IKEA Lane on the northeast side of town. Twin Peaks, the eats are spectacular. The drinks are icy cold. Why do we go? It's so easy. It's those scenic views.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, what a night it was in the NFL. Round 1 of the draft, and all kinds of things happening. We'll react to it.
All the chaos from round 1 last night, plus that Cowboys pick. He should join us on The Blitz. We'll let you know exactly what time when we get started at 2 o'clock.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FREE for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep,
brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
The NFL Draft lives right here. Coverage begins tonight at 5, exclusively on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Blitz will be here at 2, and they should have Mr. Tyler Guyton, formerly a Sooner, currently a Cowboy, on the show as he's in the brand new Dallas. They'll have some more picks tonight, 3 to be exact. As we sit now, there might be more effort. We're going to hear from Jerry post-draft here in about 15 minutes on why they wanted to try back, why Guyton is so good, whether he's even thought about his wide receiver situation, the things that matter now. But first, in the NBA, you know, it always comes to this. Very rarely do you exit a top. Do you hang up the cleats and hoist a banner at the same time? But LeBron, it's a rather ignominious end, it appears. They just aren't going to beat the Nuggets. They might win a game. I mean, there is that, the gentleman's sweep at the very least. But the Lakers just got manhandled, ground down to nothing. By a Denver team that didn't play very well last night, though the stat sheet would beg to differ. 4 starters over 20. A workman-like, just a grinding down of a lesser team is what we witnessed last night. And now the dissension is beginning. They're mad at their coach. They're mad at AD. LeBron's trying to figure out where his son's going to play next year. And it just seems like the end is nigh.
I know that we're fascinated about the LeBron element of this more than anything, especially if he winds up choosing San Antonio for whatever reason. But I'm almost more fascinated by the Lakers side of this. I mean, we're about to enter a world with a Lakers world with no Kobe and no LeBron. I mean, like what you know, like who's the superstar in Los Angeles?
Well, my question, and you know, what do you think? Enough about what I think of me. What do you think of me? Well, how does that affect the Spurs? Because I do think there is a direct effect at what the Spurs are wanting to do and what the Lakers need to do. If they're going to hold on to LeBron or keep him around for another year, I don't know if they're going to try or not. But everything I'd heard, at least from the variety of podcasts from Wendy to Shams to the others, is that the Lakers are probably going to make a big swing in whatever's available this year, that the Trae Young or DeJounte Murray rumors, at the very least, aren't unfounded. They're probable. And as bad as they've looked, they're becoming more and more likely that they're going to have to do something big to kind of, you know, round out this LeBron era and finish out with AD, who right now they don't seem to be all that happy with. He just can't keep his mouth shut and back up with his play, though I didn't think he played that bad last night. I think it'll affect the way the Spurs are going because I think the Lakers are going to be willing to overpay.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're going to have to be.
Right.
I mean, like they don't have a choice. That's the boat that they're in. I mean, let them. You know what I mean? I want the Spurs to improve greatly, but not at a significant cost, not at an overpay cost. And if you know, I was almost at Atlanta. I mean, the subject of overpaying is top of mind when it comes to Atlanta right now. But I'm fine, if you want to overpay for Trae Young, great. That opens the door for DeJounte Murray. That opens the door for Chris Paul.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. So I think that the Spurs stand to gain from, well, I guess on the subject of Atlanta, their demise, but also from Los Angeles's, impatience, because they're not going to be willing to be patient. And I understand that, but that's going to significantly impact the overall NBA landscape.
I'll tell you, by the end of the weekend, there'll be no Durant in the playoffs. There'll be no LeBron in the playoffs. There'll be no Steph in the playoffs.
Wow, the Devin Booker disrespect. Wow.
Well, I mean, have you seen the body language from Phoenix? They're destined to be done, and it doesn't look good while they're letting it get done. I don't know which fan base has the most to be concerned about. The maddest fan base probably should be Phoenix, but the most concern in the future, probably the Lakers. I don't know which way they're going to head. I don't even know who their head coach is going to be. I don't think Ham survives this. I don't think I'd want to be here if I'm Darvin Ham, if in fact LeBron leaves to follow his kid, who might be going to Duquesne. Have you heard this? The Duquesne head basketball coach has a long relationship. Duquesne's in that Ohio region. And he and the coach and LeBron know each other. Well, he put out on Twitter yesterday a picture of himself doing the LeBron chalk thing. You know how he does the above. And I guess there have been crazier things that could have happened, but Bronny could transfer to which would be a random thing. Maybe that'd be a Midwest thing. Maybe he'll go play for the Pacers.
Makes sense right now, given the kind of topic of the last few months, or the moment of the last few months, maybe a better way to put it. I would put it to every sports fan in the world. Enjoy the next, we'll call it 6 weeks, because after that it's the LeBron show. I mean, like what the doldrum after the NBA finals and Stanley Cup finals is going to be LeBron, Bronny, lottery, blah. I mean, it's just going to be all over the place.
And the sad thing is, while he's still LeBron, his game itself has not degraded as much as you'd have thought. They're losing not because of him. There's just not enough.
There's zero question that he can help lead an NBA team right now. I don't think anybody seriously
does. And honestly, RJ, I didn't think I would be saying that at the end of this year. I really thought that, normally, like with running backs, the degradation, it happens fast. If you rely on athleticism and quickness and bounce, that kind of stuff is there and then it's not. It doesn't just kind of slowly degrade. You have it and then you don't. And at some point, LeBron won't. But he still does, as we sit. Will he survive the weekend? We'll continue talking to NBA. But when we come back, the NFL had their draft, some crazy thoughts, decisions, what to expect tonight. I'm going to put it to you as we go to break. We had all the quarterbacks were gone by the 10th pick, right?
The significant. No.
When did Bo Nix go?
12.
And Sean Payton walked out thinking he got the guy he wanted. Do you agree with that?
Sean was like, these idiots have no idea who they just let.
Let's look at those quarterbacks where they landed. And is Bo Nix the next Drew Brees? I'll tell you what, Payton won with a fullback at quarterback. He did. So it won't take much to impress Sean Payton. We'll look at the league and the draft last night and where things are going to go tonight. Hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride tonight. Extra picks in the pocket of Jerry. Where are they going to spend them? We're talking about it next, and we're going to hear from him and his coach as well. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
Tonight and all day Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz with the NBA playoffs here. You want to get in on the action and have fun watching the games the way I do? Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing their pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. You create your own experience. It's a ton of fun to play. I love winning on the pick'em game. Obviously, it is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you're tired of achy joints, your joint pain keeping you from doing what you love, then you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your own body's power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call now to learn more about some exciting options in this revolutionary approach to get you long-term relief with no downtime. So what are you waiting for? Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing. 210-785-0960. 1994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz, starting at 2 o'clock today. Of course, we will have all the reaction from last night's round 1 of the NFL draft. All the chaos, and of course, that Cowboys pick is expected to be on the Blitz today. We'll let you know exactly what time when we get started at 2 o'clock. I just have to know, RJ, are you happy this morning?
Well, are you? Are you happy? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Texan fans sitting on their hands waiting for tonight, though they've had a pretty successful offseason already. Just shut up and keep it to yourselves, Texan fans. Let Cowboys fans enjoy just one morning of at least acceptance that their team did at least the right thing for the moment, as the Cowboys got a tackle, a raw one, played right tackle, could play left, and off they go with a new third-round draft pick. Joe Askett, and for those just joining us, are you happy, RJ, in the broadest sense of the word?
Was this a bit of a self-induced situation for the Cowboys? A little bit. Was it exacerbated by the injury questions hovering around Tyron Smith over the last few years? Certainly. Are the Cowboys very well known for their ability to develop offensive linemen? Absolutely. This is a check. Great job. You did the right and proper thing sort of selection, just in and of itself, in a vacuum. When you contextualize it and add that, okay, Tyler Guyton is here now. Tyler Smith gets to stay at left guard, his best position. Okay, now I feel even better. And when you add in the fact that, well, they traded back 5 spots and picked up an extra third-round pick, a better third-round pick than their own. I mean, now they don't have. They previously were going to have to wait from 56 all the way at 87. Now they get to pick in between there at 73. This is very, very, very solid. We equated it a little while ago to kind of getting on base in a baseball game. Mm-hmm. This is a really good meal. I mean, this is grilled chicken. You've got a green. You've got some starch in there. You got a glass of water, and maybe you're going to have some fruit with a little bit of maple syrup as a treat for dessert. I mean,
the real question is my chicken brined?
It is. Shout out to Rob for making certain that I brined my chicken last night. It worked out wonderfully. I mean, look, again, are they back? Is the offseason fixed now? No, there's still a lot of work to be done. And even if they're this sound throughout the entire draft weekend, they definitely will still not climb out of the hole that they put themselves in. But they took a step. They took a very positive, a very undeniable step forward on Thursday night. They deserve a lot of props for that.
Jerry talked about the mindset they had in the trade down.
You need something special to happen to be within hitting distance of where we're picking for the phone to light up. And that happened. The defensive pass rusher was there. And so, boy, that phone started lighting up, and clubs started looking at how to get up there and get that. And it wasn't the biggest fire sale I've ever seen, but it was nice enough to effectively get what we hoped would happen. And that is have some serious opportunity left on the board, yet be able to come down and get us those extra pick. We don't have the 4, so we wanted to pick the pickup. Well, sure enough, that pass rusher dropped down there, and most thought that was too low, and the phone started lighting up. And it's when they start lighting and coming to you is when you have time, when you can do some business. And that's happened. That happened.
Sounds obvious. The only thing better than the 4 is getting a 3. So
that's right.
Stop interrupting me, boy. What lineman was he talking about?
So the Cowboys had eyes on, or reportedly had eyes on Graham Barton.
Oh, yeah.
The Duke interior lineman that went to Tampa Bay at pick 26.
But what was the pass rusher he was talking about that was affecting,
Darius
people?
Robinson.
Oh, it was Robinson.
Darius Robinson, yeah. So, I mean, and that's the reality is you're going to, and you got to get used to this, like throughout the weekend. There's going to be players who you really like that are going to go somewhere else. And this is a balancing game. It's a pros cons game. And so if you are picking at 24 and you feel like there's 4 dudes who we'd be equally this is a tiers game. There's 4 dudes in this tier right now. and we'd be happy with any one of them. Detroit's calling. They want us to go back 5 spots. Can we chance it? Can we go back 5 spots and hope that one of these 4 is there? We think we can. In a bit of a scary fashion, 1, 2, 3, go your guys, and then you're thinking, holy crap, we're about to get wiped out. But thankfully, the Chiefs come up and take Xavier Worthy, somebody who you're not really bothered by. And you get your guy. You got your 3rd-round pick. You keep Tyler Smith at guard. It is a win, 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 win. Very solid day of work for the Dallas Cowboys front office.
And they added a little bit of extra work for tonight. They added a 3rd-round pick. Jerry talked about the reasoning behind moving down, adding that pick, and the depth in the middle rounds.
This is a good draft to have middle round picks. This is where this draft is shaped and what have you. I'll show you our draft board. What do you say?
You've done it before.
But,
It's your board. It's your board.
but seriously, this is a good one. And we were a little naked when we looked at it and didn't have that 4th-round pick. This is a good one to have those picks there.
Jerry talking about adding that pick and the nakedity that they felt without the 4th. I love the at the end of every draft, how every draft room was just so excited. Just stand up and clap. We did it. No matter what they did, there is this sense of accomplishment that everybody's like, thank God that's over with. I mean, it's very funny to watch the announcement in every war room.
Well, I mean, because everybody works on this for a very long time, and everybody knows we have a chance. Like this is our biggest hope. This is, if everything breaks right, this is going to happen. And you predict and you project and you estimate and you calculate, and when it hits, it's a pretty sweet feeling, right? I mean, we talk a lot about like that feeling when you hit just like the perfect golf shot. It's a drug. I mean, you're just like, I need more of this now. And I'll be back tomorrow. You know what I mean? What's the green fee? I'm good to go. And so it is the season of perpetual hope. And that's why it was such a bummer to kind of come into it as a Cowboys fan and feel like, golly, they've just really made this difficult.
All right.
And they did, but they took a step in the right direction.
Let's talk about where the Cowboys do truly sit as they go into the 2nd and 3rd round tonight. As the draft was getting started, we found out that yet another wide receiver got paid. So the dollar values for the recent 2 signings probably brought up CD to the $32 million range, judging by what AJ Brown just got.
Yeah, I mean, CD's gonna get paid. This is just a guess. This is my own brain. I'm thinking we're probably going to end up somewhere around 35. I mean, especially if they wait and let Jamar or Justin Jefferson or whoever get done before them. And that was preventable and avoidable. But hey, what the leaves are falling, as Jerry wanted to see. They're falling all over the place. Jerry Jones directly challenged the wide receiver market to rise. And in the 3 days after, 2 receivers got paid.
I mean, here he says
this isn't hard. Like this is just math at some point.
Well, it isn't hard. It isn't math. And Jerry evidently isn't even thinking about it.
Yeah, I haven't had time to think about them in terms of, I saw the same ones you saw today with Philadelphia, I guess. But bottom line is I haven't had time to think about them, but that's exactly what I was talking about. That especially in those receivers now, nobody was moving too fast to get involved. Now, I just don't care to or even will express any thoughts about the contract.
I won't think about that tomorrow. I got other problems today.
So they all impact, though.
I'm just not going to think about it. I'm going to look another direction, and I'm going to act as if I have highly paid and motivated wide receivers in my stable right now. We don't want to divert attention from what was a pretty good day. Now let's focus on today.
I can tell you this: we'll be rolling up our sleeves and going to work.
But we ain't going to think about it right now. Well, okay, so I said it yesterday. I don't believe the Cowboys should or will draft a running back in the 2nd round. They added a third rounder. How much do you think that affects the flow of the draft now? What do you think they're going to do, and what would you do?
I think today you have to come away with some linebacker help.
Mm-hmm.
You want to draft Edge Cooper? Let's go. Let's party. You know what I mean? You want to spend 56 right there? I'm super down.
And that's the 56th pick. That's the next pick that they have.
That's the second round pick, right? And then cool, high five, celebrate, but you're back on the clock soon because you were super smart on Thursday. On Thursday night. If you feel so inclined, you want to get your running back right then at 73. That's your bonus pick. All right, you did it. You picked up an X. This is your free life in Mario. You want to go test Bowser? Go for it. I mean, I'm all for it at this point in time. You earned that. I mean, it's no skin off my back at this point in time. But you need to come away with some more interior help. I think you've got to come away with some sort of guard center option today. Yesterday was the most important day of the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the next one. Tomorrow isn't quite as important. I don't mean to say it that way, but you're getting project players tomorrow. You know that.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. You can talk yourself into it and you can fall in love with prospects, but it's difficult to come in as a day 3 pick and start right away in the NFL. But today, the players the Cowboys pick today, 3 of them are going to come in and be significant contributors to their team in 2024. Not only just by nature of being top 100 picks, but because this is the way the Cowboys have designed their roster this year, to where they want this influx of youthful talent. So the players the Cowboys pick today are going to have a serious role on the team this season, and therefore you can't afford to get too cute with it, which is why, again, if you want a running back, then so be it, but you've got to make sure to get some elite talent like Edge Cooper or somebody in the first.
We're talking interior lineman, edge rush help, and running back help, primary needs that in your mind should be addressed tonight.
Primary needs, linebacker, interior line. I'd probably go wide receiver before.
Okay, let's talk about that. So running back, certainly the topic of conversation. Jonathan Brooks, certainly high on the list of many Longhorns and certainly Cowboy fans. Jerry talked about his interview with Jonathan Brooks, and it evidently went pretty well.
In my 30 years, I thought it was the best interview that I've ever interviewed with a player.
What?
He's outstanding. And he's just outstanding. And he's a great football player. We got him high. And he's a good player.
What did Jonathan Brooks do?
Well, I got it in here.
I don't know what they're laughing at, but I honestly, RJ, that's either a massive amount of puffery, a massive amount of blow this guy up in case somebody really wants him, they'll go get him and allow me to go get what I want. Or Jerry is all in, man. We should expect it to happen sooner than later.
Well, I'm more inclined to believe it's the former. I'm more inclined to believe that, Jerry said, give me something to play around with here, please. And they said, dude, just go talk about Jonathan Brooks. Just
greatest interview you've ever had.
Yeah. Or they said, say whatever you want. Like, just whatever comes to mind, because, we're not. And I do find it interesting if I now allow myself to if I lean towards the Homer side of the spectrum. Yesterday, we talked about Jane Slater's report about things that could happen and whatever. And in it, she mentioned that the biggest concern for the Cowboys was Philadelphia trading up to jump them for Jonathan Brooks. Why would that be a fear in general? Why would the Eagles be interested in Jonathan Brooks, having just signed Saquon Barkley in free agency? That's the most obvious. This horse feels kind of hollow. You know what I mean? That's the biggest alarm for me. Because to throw out the Eagles specifically, it's like, hey, God, we would really hate it if somebody traded in front of us and drafted Jonathan. It would bother us so much. We really like him.
Who drafts right in front of the Cowboys at 55?
At 55.
Not that it really plays into it.
It should be the Texans. Let me see. So at 55, we've got. 1 second here. You caught me off guard.
I didn't mean to catch you off guard. And as
I'm surprised you don't know the whole draft order.
The running back conversation continues. Jerry was asked. Who they?
55. I'm sorry, is the Dolphins.
Okay, so I'm not sure they're chasing anything near what the Cowboys are chasing. Though there is a guy that the Cowboys know. Jerry talked about meeting with Zeke.
We spent a lot of time with Zeke yesterday. Stephen did.
Yeah.
And then we had a good visit with him.
We just bumped into one another.
We bumped in last night with the
visit a little bit.
He visited.
Guys are too good a mood,
on
man.
The draft visit when we had our annual scouting meeting. He came in and joined us all, and his agent, and we thoroughly browbeat him. But seriously, we did see a lot of Zeke yesterday, but it was a combination of being over at D's and our whole group over there.
He's going to be a Cowboy in 3 days. Zeke will be a Cowboy by Wednesday.
It wasn't in that clip, but Steven mentioned that they bumped into Zeke and Rocky, who is Zeke's agent, who owns them. And he said, I'm not joking. I don't know if we have.
We have it. This is Steven talking about running into Zeke and Rocky.
Well, Zeke's, as we all know, is one of our favorites.
Yes.
I mean, he's laid it on the line for this franchise.
Cook,
he's the ultimate
good man.
Competitor. He
keeps a neat room.
He's a guy that we obviously think a lot of. And it was good to run into him and Rocky. And, we just had a little beer and moved on.
We don't have any issue. He's laid it on the line for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys have laid it on the line for Zeke.
Oh, my God.
This is one that you can smile when you see each other.
Yeah, he's going to be a Cowboys. Needed the cleaners on a couple of them. We've laid it on the line for him, that's for sure.
What a weird, we had some beer. What?
He's going to be a Cowboy by Wednesday. It's a done deal.
I don't know.
It's not a terrible thing, RJ. I don't know. There's no reason to be upset with this. He is a Cowboy. Let him get a uniform on, carry a couple of third downs. I mean,
Rob, have you seen that there's some people who are mad at Micah Parsons?
You know what? I do want to play this. And we were headed in that direction. And we're going to hit it in the 9 o'clock because Micah's a little whiny.
I don't even think that's a strong enough way to put
it. Yeah, well, no, you're right. Wait till you hear this. Coming back post draft, Micah was doing the whole was it Bleacher Report? Who had him?
Yeah.
So he and CJ Stroud were the young buck appraisers of the brand new draft picks. Wait till you hear what Micah had to say. He's starting to annoy me. I know you're talented, man, and we're giving you some rope, but come on. Micah next. The Cowboys make the draft. Will they make it right on the day 2? The Texans get a chance to get started, and are we waving goodbye to LeBron? The 9 o'clock will be a full hour of fun, so carbo load and hydrate appropriately. We'll be right back. This is 94.1 on San Antonio Sports Star.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Just saw something on Facebook. You read something really quick and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I fell for that. A new drug has been developed for lesbians with depression. It's called tricoxagen. Gigi got it.
Where's the white women at?
The John Clay Wolf Show. Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, or online at TriCountyMeat.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys got their guy. They traded back 5 spots to get him, but at the 29th, they selected Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton. In the trade with the Lions, they picked up a 3rd-round pick and gave up a 7th-rounder next year. In the NBA, the Magic blew out the Cavs 121-83, and the Lakers are now down 3-0 as they lost 112-105 to the Nuggets.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play 1 to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Huddle up. There's only an hour left of the Morning Huddle. That's RJ. I'm Rob. 3 hours in, 1 to go. You missed anything, go to sasportstar.com. We say it every day. It's the Audio Vault brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. It's our podcast central. Catch up on all live things that we do around here. The Blitz will be live today at 2. We expect them to play host to Tyler Guyton, the brand new offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. If you're curious as to who this Mr. Guyton is, this is Booger McFarland telling you what Tyler Guyton might very well be when he lines up. You know, Booger was interesting up on the podium yesterday. I always find it interesting, the characters that they gather on. So we had on the ESPN, we had SEC represented quite well. You had Booger and you had Nick Saban, both of which really appreciated the raw talent that is Tyler. This is Booger talking about this offensive tackle.
you're going to put this young man at right tackle. You put him beside Zach Martin at right guard. I think he struggled a little bit when he played left tackle, although he has the athleticism there. Struggled a little bit at the Senior Bowl. You put him beside Zach Martin, who we know is going to be a Hall of Fame player, and you let Zach teach him. You can put a tight end there to help him. I think this is a good pick. And for all the Cowboys fans that wondered when we're going to start building this team in 2024, they finally got started.
They started. Here it is. Rebuilding.
You remember the episode of The Office where Michael Scott starts the Michael Scott Paper Company and Pam goes with him?
Yes, I do.
Kind of like in Jerry Maguire. When
Take
Jerry
one step.
leaves and Renee Zellweger follows him. Yeah, and he's like, I just can't do this. I can't. And she's like, let's just make a list. Let's just make a list of things to do. And what's the first thing we got to do? Let's get dressed. Let's just make a list and do something on the list. This was a little bit bigger than that.
And they did it. And there is every reason to be, at the very least, happy, moderately excited that they did the correct thing. And as every Cowboy fan, including you, which you have been the most tortured Cowboy soul I know, no one wants them to be more successful than you, and no one has been more disappointed in them than you. And it has been weeks of this as it's been coming. And even you woke up this morning and went, whoa, I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday. There's still work to be done. Now that's us. But Micah Parsons is on a whole other level. I don't even know what to make of this dude anymore.
So to set this up, so we're aware, and we'll kind of describe, because the impact here is more visually.
Yes.
Apologies, but Micah did a draft show for Bleacher Report. I believe CJ Stroud was a part of it. Some other people.
A small part.
Year. Right. Micah likes to. And I have no problem, by the way, with Micah being a content creator. Like I'm all good with this, but you have to understand the weight of what you say, which is part of what being a leader is about. Part of what getting a leader level contract is about. This is what Micah said or didn't say when the Cowboys drafted Tyler Guyton.
And with the 29th pick in the draft, the Dallas Cowboys select offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Not one of the players listed by our own Micah Parsons. Tyler Guyton is a heck of a process. We'll get to push-ups in a second. Out of Oklahoma, fourth-year junior, not even 22 years old yet. 6'7" and a half, 322, a 34 1/8 inch arm, 10 1/4 hands. He played 13 starts at right tackle, 1 at left tackle, and 1 at tight end, 92% at right tackle. Has the feet of a running back. First season was HVAC and tight end. The NFL scout said Oklahoma coaches marvel at him. They call him different than everyone else they've had. Renner.
And Micah is whining.
Yeah, well, he's sulking would be.
Yeah, just like
he's just
slump
kind of like sinking
down
into the couch. This was. I'll go first if you don't mind. This is a really bad look, Micah. I mean, and look, I'm not going to act like I know more about football evaluation or anything than Micah. There's a lot of people who are pointing out, oh, well, you loved the Mozzie pick last year and you were clearly wrong. I think that's the wrong way to criticize this.
Right.
That has nothing to do with this. This is, dude, this is the best moment of this guy's life. And he is so pumped to be your teammate. And you know what's going to happen is at some point, he's going to kick your ass in one-on-one. It will probably be one time. All right. You will probably kick his ass way more often than not. But at some point, he's going to win. And then everyone's going to laugh at you.
Yep.
And that is Micah's problem. I have zero issue with him talking, with him podcasting, with him streaming, with him creating content. I would be a big hypocrite if I had a problem with that. But you have to understand the influence that you have. You're now in year 4. You're a leader on this team. You're now at a place where these guys have watched you and have rooted for you and been super impressed. Drake May, maybe in a bit of a, I want to be drafted by Washington move, was asked this week by Kevin Clark who he was most excited to face in the NFL. He said Micah Parsons. You're that guy now.
Yeah.
And so imagine Tyler Guyton, or imagine Tyler Guyton's family or his friends or whatever that just see you like just moaning and groaning. I mean, like, and forget the Tyler Guyton thing. I mean, every Cowboys fan like me that has been upset about this team all season long now is experiencing a brief moment of euphoria, a brief taste of water in the desert, and you're like, this sucks, man.
Right.
And quit acting like everything you do is perfect and infallible, Micah.
And just kind of slumped over. Dude, I'm not done with you, but I'm upset with you. And Gilbert Padilla on the brigade bar, Parsons reminds me of all the children I benched for bad attitudes. That's exactly what he looked like. You just look like a 12-year-old who is obviously the best guy on the team. Yeah, we know you're the best guy on the team. That is acting like a self-involved, I know better than you. No, that's one of those things that does need to be addressed. And it's not a coach thing. It's a team leadership thing. There's somebody else on that team's going to have to go talk to him and say, look, bruh, you might be right. It might not, but we wanted, but that's who we got. And you better go welcome his ass in this room.
Even if you're right, one of the hardest things about leadership is knowing when not to talk.
Exactly.
And knowing what to hold back. I've told this story before, and I don't mean to like, oh, Dak is awesome, whatever. If you don't like Dak, that's fine. This isn't meant to sway you. But this was like 5-6 years ago at this point in time. Do you remember Ryan Switzer? He was a 4th-round pick.
I do very well.
Wide receiver.
Little wide receiver.
So he kind of enjoyed being a Cowboy, and early in his career, he got married. And this was when Snapchat was a bigger thing, and you would post on your Snap story. And during the wedding and during the reception, he had invited some Cowboys players, obviously, his teammates, and they were on the dance floor. They were dancing. I don't know what song came on. And Switzer, the guy's, obviously very liquidated. It's a big night. It's a party, whatever. He throws up the middle finger in front of the camera, like the selfie style thing he's putting up, because he's just putting this on his Snap story. And Dak is in the shot. And Dak very quickly realizes there's a camera on me. There's a middle finger here. And he put his hand out and he covered it. And again, I'm not trying to act like, oh, wow, this is so impressive. But that is impressive of somebody who understands the position that they're in and understands the fallout that can happen when you hold the position that Dak does or that Micah does. And so Micah doesn't get that yet. Micah doesn't understand the influence and the impact of what he's saying and what he does. And again, it's more than that to me here. It's the presentation. Like, I know better. Like I can't believe this. I mean, how dare you not ask the mighty Micah Parsons, for anything and everything. It's just, this is a really, really, it's not a bad look. It's just a tough look. It's a frustrating look because it doesn't have to be this way.
Well, he's playing to form. This isn't the first time he's come on whatever his platform might be, whether it's his own podcast or this, and kind of played counter to the Cowboys. Kind of, they're not, I'm a Cowboy, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything they're doing kind of guy. And, that can be, it has its place in the modern sports world, but not right now and not with young players' careers and the beginning of them. That was the one thing I took away from yesterday. Like, man, somebody just needs to set you straight. I wish Tyron was still around to give you a call. I hope there's somebody that has the bearing, the weight. I can give him a call and say that doesn't play, man. That's not going to play for me. It's not going to play for the Cowboys. Don't do it again.
My son is 2, so he's not necessarily done anything that I would calculate as a high level of misbehavior in public yet. At least that isn't, widely understood, right? Like, he cries, everybody's like, it's a baby. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know at what point in life that like general forgiveness is like taken away from society.
You'll know.
So, and this would have never happened to the Thompson boys because they're fine gentlemen that I know. So you can tell me if you can imagine this hypothetical. But this feels like when you're out in a public setting, maybe around family, maybe family you don't see a lot with your boys, and somebody offers them some food or something like that, and they say, oh, I don't want that. I'm hungry, but I won't eat that.
Yeah,
and then you swoop in and say, you're going to eat this, and you're going to be grateful, and you're going to say thank you, and you're going to go help wash the dishes when you're done. Like this, I mean, again, the weird thing, and I joked about this earlier in the week when Steven jumped in to, combat Jane Slater with Jerry, like, and how he thought like, oh man, everyone's about to be impressed with my knowledge. Micah
Please.
knows he's on camera. He's behind microphones. You know what I mean? Like, he really thought that this was going to like hit. You know what I mean? That everyone was going to be like, oh yeah, Micah, let's go. And it further perpetuates how very poorly most people understand the Cowboys fan base. Even somebody who lives and thrives at the center of it all doesn't understand that, dude, there is a line. And if you go past it, even all the people who want to dunk on the front office, they're gonna correct you, and they're gonna put you in your proper place when you're acting out of line.
Hey, we've got more NFL talk coming your direction, but the league, the NBA, that is, continues. We got 3 big games tonight. We'll look at what happened last. We'll look at around the rest of the league. A questionable decision by Atlanta by every measure. I agree with them, by the way. What did you think, and where are we going tonight? Trends headed into the second and third rounds, all coming your direction, because that's what we do. It's the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, what a night it was in the NFL, round 1 of the draft, and woo, all kinds of things happening. We'll react to it.
All the chaos from round 1 last night, plus that Cowboys pick. He should join us on the Blitz. We'll let you know exactly what time when we get started at 2 o'clock.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a teaming with Bank of America. You'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. A bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner can help your engine get more MPGs. Right now, when you buy 1 bottle, you can get 1 bottle free. A great deal to help you go a great deal farther. Find Chevron Techron and everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any one of our 6,300 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
The NFL Draft lives right here. Coverage begins tonight at 5, exclusively on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. The NBA playoffs continue as the draft will have its second night tonight. The NBA will be playing 3 games. We're in the midst of awards season. What did we get? Steph Curry got the Clutch Player of the Year award, the newest one, which, sure, why not? I guess I.
What do you think he puts that on in his wall?
Yeah, we're exactly on the mantle. Does Clutch
Or do
Player?
you think it's like when somebody comes trick or treating next year and they're out of candy, he's like, here, take this.
At some
Happy
point,
Halloween.
He's going to be an old man sitting in his rocking chair. They're going to hand him this, and he's going to go, well, what is this? You won it. You were the Clutch Player of the Year in 2024. I was? Oh, my memory of that year ain't quite so clutch. I remember it being a little bit rougher than Clutcher. So he got one. Tyrese Maxey got the most improved.
I don't think that I don't know who disagrees with that. I mean, he's been awesome. Last night was the Embiid show, but he's been super awesome. And he had that game winner, the game tire against the Spurs a few weeks back. So I'm good with that.
I'm not anti. Naz Reid got the sixth Man of the Year award, which was a bit of a surprise.
The sixth Man of the Year, I don't mean to discredit at all, okay? But that is an award that you only care about if somebody on your team wins it. You don't even care if somebody on your team is close and loses out. It only ever enters your brain space if somebody on your team wins it.
I agree with that, but I can tell you this: the sixth Man award winner is never on a bad team. You can judge the quality of the team by the sixth man. And that just is another favorable side for where Minnesota is. And he's going to be playing beside the second best defender, though, the current and will be defensive player of the year, and Rudy Gobert. Other awards that we're awaiting on: Rookie of the Year, and we expect that to happen, Defensive Player of the Year, and then Most Valuable Player with the 3 finalists, Jokic, Doncic, and SGA, to take that down. Tonight we'll get an opportunity to the games start early, by the way, 4:40 by your clocks.
So we've got a lot going on tonight. Here's what you have to juggle. Rob, can I get a juggling kind of?
I don't know what that would be.
Well, pretend you're juggling.
Well, I mean, just like
there you go. Okay,
that could be a lot of things. If you're just tuning in, you see me do this. I'm juggling.
Yeah,
John
Robbins took a screenshot of you.
So I want to screenshot. Rob is juggling as he does this, because I could be doing a lot of things right now that I might not want to be doing in public. So I'm juggling. One hand.
We've got NFL draft starting. I actually think the draft starts earlier tonight. I need to double check this right now quickly. But so if you got the NFL draft, I love NBA playoffs like this, where the games kind of go in the order that I want to see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got Bucks Pacers first, and then we've got Clippers Mavericks next, and then we've got T-Wolves Suns after that. We've got NHL playoffs going on. That's on TBS TNT. So you got to juggle a different app, a different platform for this.
Sucks.
So that's, you got that going on. Then, man, I haven't seen this week's episode of Amazing Race. I'm stuck. So that's just going to have to get, put on the back burner until tomorrow.
The games get started early. We'll have the draft starting at 5:00. We're going to dig into that draft in just a couple minutes and take you all the way through what went down and what we do expect over the weekend as the playoffs wind themselves down. I look at the games tonight and I think, well, I like the Pacers suddenly, though I think they're probably the safest win tonight. I'm not going to pick them done for the series. I'm picking the Lakers. They cooked. We're not, by the time we meet again, we will be probably on the precipice of a gentleman's sweep. I think the Lakers and just the sheer magnitude of LeBron will get a game, but the outpour of this over the next couple of weeks is going to be very interesting to watch, because as this season winds down, the Lakers' attitude is going to play a huge role in what the Spurs are going to be capable of. Because as much as the Spurs might be willing to do something this year, and we doubt that they are, the Lakers are going to be even more financially motivated to do it. So it's going to take even more dollars, I think, to do what would have cost a little bit less, considering where the Lakers find themselves, especially if they're going to try to keep LeBron in town.
Do you really want to keep LeBron? I mean, that's a dumb
yes,
question. But like,
absolutely.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I think you have to chase it, because what else is there to do in life? You know what I mean?
Well, you asked the question earlier. Are the Lakers truly this bad, or are the Nuggets just this much better against the Lakers? And if the Lakers were playing anybody else, this would be as well as they have played, and they haven't played awful. It certainly wouldn't be 3-0. You know, it would just be a little bit more competitive. But the Nuggets not only are the best team in the West, but they're the best team in the world against the Lakers.
I mean, I don't think it's weird, because there's not a lot of shame in losing to the Nuggets, right? Like, you know, whoa, no, you know,
Well, I mean, the
best
world
player in the
champs,
world.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's a really embarrassing thing.
11 straight losses to one team. I mean, we're well past just we're more talented. There is something deeply ingrained in the way that the Lakers approach the Nuggets that is just, they can't overcome it no matter what. You play a team 11 times. You've had every possible opportunity to win a game. You've been in situations at least 20 times in those 11 games to separate and win a game. And you couldn't do it once? I mean, that is so absolute ownership. I almost throw it out. It's like in the old days when you would watch the Olympics, which were under 100 days, and you'd watch skating, and we didn't have computers back then, guys. It was like the old school game shows where you wrote on little cards, and they would the judges would hold something up above their head, and we'd drop the high and the low, because you never wanted to, drop. This is the drop the high and the low. It's this is so outlandish. I can't even apply it to regular life, because the Nuggets just own you in every possible way.
It's weird. I mean, name a team that's owned LeBron, like maybe Boston early on, but
nobody has owned LeBron like Jokic and the Nuggets.
Well,
nobody.
The closest though would have been Boston.
Well, yeah,
in the
for a
early,
minute,
in the early Cavs days.
Yeah.
But and I guess Golden State, but they owned everybody. Like, that wasn't exclusive to LeBron.
But even then, 11 straight, nobody done that.
It's actually difficult. You know what I mean? To lose 11 straight.
Yes.
Because you would figure at some point something would break your way. And that's, again, what makes Monday's loss so that the series was lost. Like, you can always kind of look back and say, like, what was the inflection point? Monday was that. I don't know that I think that LA would have or could have won the series had they won on Monday night. But without that win, it was impossible. And that just zapped all energy, because it was like, we just dropped the most amazing performance that we possibly, because have the Nuggets looked good to you? And
in game one, there were moments where you thought, oh gosh, yeah, the Lakers bit off far more they can chew. But last night, no, they did not look great. They just looked what's the best imminent. I mean, they were just coming. They weren't going to stop them.
And by the way, I don't mean to do this, but I'm gonna do this. Remember when we said we just talked about, like, maybe the Lakers would be better off rigging the game to go play the Thunder.
In hindsight.
And everybody was like, oh no, you got to play to win the game, blah, blah, blah. This was kind of a tough move for the Lakers, with the way everything shook out.
And you are curious, at least I would be, to see what it would look like against Oklahoma City. But we will never know. And Oklahoma City woke up and put Pelicans in their place. We'll see this weekend if they can get a healthy Zion, whether they can or can't. But I think that series is done. Pelicans are over. The Lakers, they are done. They are over. We will find out very quickly if the Suns are done. I will tell you they are done. They are over. according to the old axiom, the playoffs have not begun in Philadelphia. No road team has won yet. Home teams continue. We had a 50 burger from Joel Embiid, and the announcement prior to the game, the knee, while it continues to be an issue currently, he's dealing with a situation with Bell's palsy. You'll see it on the video if you haven't, a noticeable sag on the left side of his face. And then to go out and get 50, it's a testament. I don't claim to have any idea what Bell's palsy does to you, but it's got to be pretty impressive to go out and get a 50 burger and deal with it at the same time. That series is far from done. And any of those Knick fans that bought all those tickets in Philadelphia, yeah, it was a nice celebration, but I think you witnessed the beginning. You see the very first crack in something and think, oh no, this is only going to grow. I've got a crack on my rear view mirror that I watched hit back in November, and I saw the little dink from obviously what had been a stone from a lawnmower. And I've watched it, and I knew the moment I saw it that this is going to eventually go all the way across my mirror. And it's grown ever so slightly. And there's going to be a point when I hit a rock, I hit a pothole or something where it's going to crack. We saw that. It could very well be a big enough crack for the Knicks to fall apart, because I think by most eyes, when you saw the Knick 76ers series, and you were kind of a passing NBA fan, and you saw a 2-7 matchup, most eyes, I think, probably thought Philadelphia was a 2 seed, because the last time you paid attention was probably All-Star break, and Joel Embiid was pulling off 50 burgers. The last time you were paying attention here in San Antonio, you watched him get 71 on the supposed, if not as voted by, Defensive Player of the Year in Wemby. You'd think that Philly would be the 2 seed, but no, Embiid was gone for so long. That bandwagon the Knicks have is fun. I want them to continue. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I was making a great point that
you were. It went dark.
So, just quickly on the Lakers front, because Denver does own them. Remember all the people that were like, "You have to play to win in the play-in because you know that's what winners do." Well, it's like, no,
they did the right thing, RJ. I'm not gonna fault them for not winning a game.
I'm not saying,
but you're right.
Saying like, oh, I'm not saying they messed up. All I'm saying is there was validity to the conversation.
You're right,
and this is proving that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that? I don't even mean like in their heart of hearts, but do you think if right now, if you gave them 3 wishes, that one of them wouldn't be, I wish we could be playing the Thunder instead. Like, there's no question. And so next time you can miss me with this, like, oh no, I'm a champion and I play super hard and I want to win every game and we have to make sure that we're the best and we're going to beat the Nuggets. We're going to work harder.
When we gather together again on Monday, are you at all worried about the Celtics in Miami?
I will say that on Monday, I will be worried about the Celtics because, so let me double check the schedule here. Game 3 is tomorrow. Is that correct? Yes. Game 3 is tomorrow. And game 4 is therefore
it'll be Monday.
Mm-hmm.
They lose 2 straight.
They won't lose 2 straight. You know what? Yeah, I think I'll take Miami tomorrow.
I think we're going to be worried about the Celtics when we meet again.
Yeah.
I think not that they're not going to win. I do think that there's enough there, and Miami just doesn't have enough to sustain what they did. But going home in the method that they play, they've got to win, and they've got to win there. And it's going to scare the Celtics back straight. It's going to be that sudden shock to the system that'll get them back on the right place. I'm far more today concerned about Milwaukee than I am about the Celtics.
So we think that Miami carries a 2-1 lead into Monday.
I do. I think that Miami gets that first homer. I think that the Celtics are licking their wounds. They're going to find the right way. But the way that that Hero and Jaquez were hitting shots, I think that's going to continue. And the Celtics will out-talent them in the long run, but it's going to take a gut check kind of a win in Miami to do it. It'll probably be, game 5, game 6?
Right. So that would be game 4 in Miami. You know what I'm saying? For the Celtics to win in Miami. If they lose.
No,
tomorrow.
I'm talking about they're going to have to win one game in Miami. I'm just trying to figure out which one it'll be. And I think it'll be
game 5 would be in Boston.
Okay. So they might have to win 7. Game 7 there.
So then what do you think on Monday? What does the Bucks series look like? It's one apiece right now. They play tonight and then Sunday in Indiana.
It's going to be a tied series. They're trading blows. I think they're trading road wins.
Okay. So then
No, well, I think they're both going to win at home. I think Indy takes them tonight, although
well, they're both in Indiana. That's what I'm saying. Like tonight and Sunday.
But that's what I was saying. Although on Sunday, I don't think it'll be quite so easy because tonight we're dealing with a Middleton ankle, and Giannis could be back by Sunday.
I think that's what I was about to say. Monday, we're talking about the Heat taking a 2-1 lead against the Celtics, and we're talking about how Giannis came back on Sunday to equalize the series because the Pacers won on Friday without everybody. So
we might have to start paying attention there to that Orlando-Cleveland game. Nobody else is, but Paolo Banchero went off last night in a 40-point stomping of the Cleveland. I don't know what happened. Don't pretend to have seen it, but I'll tell you what, the last thing you want is a team that is young and stupid believing in themselves because they don't know what they're not doing right. They're just doing stuff. And Orlando's got enough young talent and some guards that are absolutely snipers and heart takers. You don't want that team to wake up. And if they do, the ramifications of a Cleveland collapse could land right in the Spurs or Lakers' lap. Spida might be looking to go elsewhere or at least be chased. That'll be the topic of conversation as we move on. But the draft is front and center, and we're going to talk about that next. The Cowboys done good. The NFL offers a surprise in Atlanta, and we'll get there next. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
Tonight and all day Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position select.
I thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.